Okay, give me a second, people. J Dog, what is up? Arian Drake, what is up? Let me go through the propers. Yo, yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Lincoln Clay. You know the drill. Hit the like button, hit the bell icon. The rest will take care of itself. If you're already a new subscriber, welcome to the channel. I hope you are enjoying the content. And so, oh boy, getting straight into it. That's Misi. What's up? I was playing Battlefield 5 just a few minutes ago. And so I like to use the sniper class because I'm getting to be a decent person with with the snipers. Um so I switched I go with you can choose your character. You can choose uh you've got several men and several women to choose from. H player, what is up? And so I chose the black guy Leo on there naturally. And it looks like he is the guy that was on the cover of Battlefield 1. So I picked him naturally. So I'm playing a multiplayer. 1 second, people. Okay, folks. Sorry about that. So I'm playing Battlefield and I'm playing Grand Operations because I do love the operations part. And this operations is a little bit different from the Battlefield 1 operations because you have to go through several different phases of the operation. One phase you might have to attack. The next phase you may have to defend. The next phase you may have to plant a bomb at the objectives. And then even today, for the first time, I saw a battle royale mode inserted into the grand operations. So, what prompted this podcast is that, as I was saying before, I chose the black guy Leo. No big deal. So I'm playing Battlefield, and then the session that I was in, I decided to leave because the team that we were on sucked. So I left that session and went and joined another session. And so I'm playing the next session, and when I got shot, I heard a woman scream, and I'm like, "What the fuck? What the fuck kind of game is this where they got a dude screaming like a woman where he got shot?" And so before I respond, I went into the settings, and it turned out that the game had defaulted me as a woman again. And this isn't the first time that this happened. I also have Battlefield on the Xbox as well, and this has happened on the Xbox. See, the first couple times it happened on the Xbox, I didn't think anything of it. I figured it might have been a glitch or something, or whatever. And then I come over and I play it on the PlayStation, and I see this same thing happen again. So it's starting to seem. What I've noticed is that in the medical class and in the sniper class, um, every time I leave a session and I come back to a new one, the game defaults me as a woman again. That is not an oversight. That is not an accident. That is not a glitch. That is somebody going too fucking far with their agenda. And when that happened, I just shut the game off right there and just came straight to the computer so I can have this podcast. So EA is just taking this woman shit way too far. I mean, we get it. You gave us your depiction of the Second World War, and you've included women on the front line in your depiction of the Second World War. Um, and then you've taken it a step further, called people uneducated, dared them not to buy the game. Then you slapped them in the face with the Christmas launch party they had, and they took all these snippets, of shit that's been said in the backlash and posted it on this TV screen and further, and further aggravate this situation. And then we know the game went on sale what, like a week after it released at 50% off, and hell, I jumped on it. I bought it for $30. And then courtesy of the quartering, he posted a video saying that, I think it was on Reddit or some other forum, I can't remember. But people were complaining about Battlefield 5, and EA was just throwing them free codes. And in this forum, they were offering discounts. Don't call me Danny. What's up? They were offering discounts. I guess they were just throwing random codes out. They were just throwing codes out there to respond to the complaints, and some of them were even the deluxe edition. So that's gotten people upset too. That was another slap in the face for people who pre-ordered the game and people who bought the game day one for $60, $80, $90, whatever the deluxe edition may cost. So they slapped him in the face with that, and then and in his latest video, the quartering was saying that people was trying to contact EA to see if they can get refunded, half of the money for the game, since the game went on sale for 50% off only a week after launching, and EA is not giving them their money back. Um, I mean, EA is just carrying this shit too far. This is Skyfall. What is up? And this shit, it is like they are deliberately trying to push back the people who criticize this game. They are, it seems like EA is just going out of their way to push back at these people. And I said it before, that's just going way too fucking far when you start pushing your agenda to the point where you're trying to control people's options and shit. And it's like every time I join a new session, I have to go into the options and manually select a male for my character. And every time I leave the session and come back to a new one, I have to do it again. It's like you leave the session, the game will default you back to a woman. This is going too fucking far. I don't have anything. I've said it on more than one occasion. You said after Skyfall, after what EA has done to Mass Effect, you can't stand EA. EA's fuckery goes way further back than Mass Effect. When where EA first started its real fuckery was when they signed that exclusive NFL contract to be the only publisher of an official NFL game. That's when EA's fuckery started, because the NFL 2K game, for the most part, was a much better game. This was way before, this is kind of when Sega still uh, Sega still owned the 2K franchise. It was a much better game than Madden, and I think people were slowly starting to catch on that NFL 2K was a better game than Madden. And so rather than EA going out of their way to build a better game to maintain its user base, they just decided to buy out the competition and just, get rid of everybody and buy out that contract. So with that being said, that's where EA's fuckery started. So with that being said, I hope Sony never relinquishes that their licensing, rights for the MLB The Show, because they do produce a good game, and it's, yeah, sure, it's a lot of the same shit where all they did really do is tweak the rosters and tweak this and tweak that, but it's still an amazing game, and it's not a game that's where microtransactions aren't a priority. So EA been putting in the fuckery for a long time. You said that, don't call me Danny. After I bought Army of 2, I was done with EA. So that that shit, I mean, the shock that I felt when I picked the black dude Leo, he gets shot, and it's like, hey, I'm like, what the fuck is that? Since when Since when a dude starts screaming like a woman when he gets shot, whatever. So, like I said, after I respawned, I went back into the settings, and sure enough, the game defaulted me as Erica, and I had to go in there, change it to Leo, and I said, let me make sure this shit didn't happen on purpose. So I left the session, and I came back to a new session. And when that session started, I went back into the recon class, and sure enough, the game defaulted me as Erica. It did not save me choosing Leo. It didn't save it. Eden Prime, what is up? And oh, you came from six stream. Oh yeah, that's what's up, Spartan God. Graham Goodyear, what the hell is this? This is me talking about EA has gone too far with them pushing their female agenda in Battlefield. Uh, to give you a quick catch up, it seems that in certain classes, the recon and medical class in particular, Reclaimer, what is up? It seems that when I leave a session and I go into a new one, the game defaults me as a woman every time I leave a session. And come to a new session, the game defaults me as a woman, and I have to keep physically going back into the settings and choosing a man. And that's just the shit's going too far. They just going too far with this Battlefield shit. So, um, I do like the multiplayer Battlefield. I'm not gonna lie, but this shit the EA's doing is making me wish that this game just can go ahead and just finish falling flat on its face, so EA can just go ahead and move on to the next one. Dark Side Havoc, what is up? And so I promise you this. Well, I'm not gonna say I promise you this. I'm not absolutely sure. I was about to say that I bet you EA won't try to push this SJW agenda on Anthem, because if I think that if Anthem fails, I think EA is probably going to be done taking chances on new franchises. I think they're going to take the Microsoft route. And as far as AAA games go, the only games you're going to go are the established franchises. Spartan God, if they do the same shit with Anthem that they are doing with Battlefield, not so much about not so much about trying to insert a woman in the lead role. I'm talking about EA telling people if you don't like it, don't buy it and shit like that. If they do that again, Anthem is going to flop. And if it flops, EA will be going the Microsoft route where they only make the established franchises. Um, I don't know. Let me see what we got here. Checking something on Twitter, folks. Give me a second. Okay. So yeah, part of me wants this. I'm just ready for this SJW female agenda and all this shit. I'm just ready for this shit to go away, because every time EA does something to spit back in the face of these people the very people that's buying the game, every time EA does something to spit back into the face, they get a backlash from it. So this shit is not dying down. There's a part of me that believes that EA is trying to escalate this shit onto a national stage. I think EA wants this shit to escalate so big that maybe it even gets the attention of CNN News. Now they're at the center of controversy, and some people are going to go out and buy the game just for the simple fact that it's the center of controversy. So EA, in my opinion, might still be trying to reach female gamers, but doing it in a different way. Because for the most part, this game is flopped. I think EA in terms of sales, I think EA has already washed their hands with this game. They tried something and it backfired. So now I think EA is only in. I think as far as Battlefield goes, I think EA is in survival mode, and they're just trying to do enough to get their money back so they can go ahead and move on from this shit. And I think because of how bad this game is flopping, that they're even struggling to get their money back. I mean, the game is still on sale. It's $35 at both the Xbox store and the PlayStation store. So yeah, I'm just ready for all this shit to go away. The situation where EA pissed off a lot of people by slashing the price of the game, to half off after a week. I'm not mad at that because hey, I was able to cash in on that. I was able to get the game for $30. Already knew that I was not going to buy the game day one. Um, because I just wasn't sure. I just wasn't sure. And not only that, a huge focus of my gaming enjoyment is VR games. This is something that I'm missing with this. You hope Anthem won't fail because I want another Dragon Age and Mass Effect. Uh, okay. I think I get what you're saying. Who's developing Anthem? BioWare or whoever? Okay, I think I get what you guys are talking about. That if Anthem fails, EA will close the studio. I think that's what you guys are talking about there. Robert, you said you had the same problem. I was getting pissed, but found out in the menu at the beginning. Go to the company, and you can change both characters, German or other. Uh, See, but what I was dealing with is that to start the game off, I would go to customize, whatever class I'm in, and then I go to change the character and I switch it over to Leo. It'll remain as Leo until I leave the session. When I leave the session and then go into a new session and find a new match, the game defaults me as a woman. And I had to keep physically going back and customizing it and changing the character. I mean, they already set the tone to begin with to show that they were trying to push an agenda. The minute you popped that game in and saw that they're, in the online mode, that some of the classes you were defaulted as a woman, they were already trying to push their agenda. You said the SJW stuff won't be going anywhere anytime soon. They already have, movies, TV, sports. Now they want music and video games. You got a point there, Dark Side, but there is a fine line. One of the prime examples that I gave is um like Batman, for instance. What if the SJWs try to, lean on Warner Brothers and try to force them to have a woman as the lead in the next Batman movie? See how well that game does. I mean, that see how well that movie does, or even a video game for that matter. See how well that does. There's a time where you have to stay in your lane. If Yeah, that movie would flop, Spartan God, big time. You got to draw the line somewhere. These SJWs can't try to take over every fucking thing on the planet. You got to draw the line sometime and stay in your fucking lane. Like I said, try something like that. I dare them to try something like that, where they try to insist that Batman be a woman. Look, I don't have a problem with them pushing for equal rights and shit like that. That's their fight, and I don't choose to be a part of that because I got my own problems. But I think rather than try to invade men's shit, why don't you Why don't you uplift your own side? Rather than maybe even the Second World War, for an example, rather than give a false depiction of women being on the front line. How about doing a movie where women were critical in the war in obtaining information from men? Because beauty does soothe the savage beast, and I'm sure women were used in probably just about damn near every war where women were used to hook up with men to extract information out of them. Exactly, Viera, Tron. Instead of it, that's where I was about to go with this. Rather than them jumping up in Warner Brothers face and say Batman should be a woman, how about they come out with a Batwoman or a Batgirl movie? I would go see that. Exactly, Spartan God. You said they were never on the front line. They were spies and built ships and stuff like that. And as spies, they were very crucial to the war because they were getting information out of men. How about do a movie like that? So I didn't mean to take it this far, but yes, EA is going way too. I didn't mean to veer that far off the track, but yes, EA has taken this shit way too far. Oh yeah, we have a black woman that was spies. And that's probably a story that will never get told. Viera Tron, it's a story that should be told, but probably never will be told. You feel that the Battlefield 5 issue wasn't that big of a deal. It wasn't that big a deal to me, Samuel. That is until I played Battlefield today, where every time I left a match and then went into a new match, I had to keep going back into the settings and changing my characters to a male because the game kept defaulting it as a woman. Don't force that shit on me. Let it be my choice. If I feel like being a woman, let me go into the settings and choose a woman. If I feel like being a man, let me go into the settings and choose a man. I understand when the game first rolls out, when the game first hits store shelves and shit like that, and you take it home, there's only two genders, male and female. With animals, everything, male and female. There's only two genders. We all know that. So when you first bring the game home or you first download the game, it has to be one or the other, a male or a female. My point is that moving forward from that point, whatever I want to choose, I should be able to choose. Don't force that on me. That shit, I it's just the point that they're trying to force something on me. Not that it's a woman thing. It's the point that they're trying to force something on me. If I chose to be a woman on Battlefield and every time I leave a match and come back into a new match and the game keeps defaulting me as a werewolf or something like that and I have to keep going back into the settings to choose a woman, I would be equally upset. So this is not about me saying that this woman shit is going too far. It's about me saying that EA trying to push an agenda has gone too far. They have gone way too fucking far with this shit. Samuel, you said I'll say this: if a gamer is looking for a video game to get realistic historical missions and whatnot from a game, needs to sort out their priorities in life. So to me, at this game to me was never about historical accuracy. I never had an issue with any of this shit as far as a woman being the main character of a game. But what I did say was that I thought EA was making a very unwise move when they called people that they want to buy this game uneducated and telling them that if you don't like it, don't buy it. These you basically biting the hand that feeds you when you say something like that. When you're trying to get somebody to buy something, when you're trying to get, when you're trying to get somebody to buy something and you say things to those very same buyers that might might rub people the wrong way, be ready for some of those sales to suffer. You know, not per se, but those who went ultra ballistic over the chick in the campaign, yeah, I get that. I never had a problem with it. Eden Prime, you said I have the opposite, Lincoln. I'm always a woman, but it switches to a man. I reckon there's some bugs. Same thing happens with my loadout. Sometimes I'll start with the wrong weapons. I'm not saying like, so let me be clear. I'm not saying that this happens in every class. I only noticed that it happened in the medical and the recon class. It was defaulting me as a woman. Um, but the other two classes, the assault and the heavy class, the heavy gun class, it was starting me as a man. So my point is, I don't have a problem with I don't have a problem with how the game starts you out. I have a problem with them not being able to let me choose something and keep that choice. And that's is what this is about. They're trying to force something on people and not give them a choice. So, okay, let's use a restaurant. You know what? Let's there's sometimes you have to sometimes you have to separate business and social, gender, and political views. Sometimes you have to separate those. Sometimes you have to keep those separate if you want to make money. Case in point is a restaurant. If a restaurant sells good food and you go there to eat all the time, and then all of a sudden you go into that restaurant and you see offensive shit all over the wall. If I go to a restaurant and it's got great food, and then the next time I come in there, it's got a swastika gets painted on the wall, or it's got pictures of people being hanged and lynched and shit like that, and burning crosses all over the fucking wall. How many people you think gonna come back to that restaurant and eat? Be prepared to lose some business when you let those kind of views spill over into the business aspect. There was nothing wrong with EA putting a woman in the game, but it was not a smart move to tell the user base that they are uneducated, and if they don't like it, don't buy the game. That was where they fucked up. Not putting a woman in the game. They didn't fuck up putting a woman in the game. They fucked up by daring their user base not to buy the game if you don't like it. Is everyone looking forward to playing Microsoft games on PlayStation and Nintendo? Skyfall, that's a whole nother issue because I know one thing for certain. I'm ready for Microsoft to be gone from console gaming altogether. They want to keep making games and keep doing their games as a service or whatever. That's fine. But I'm ready for them to be out of the console business. You know that their lies and shit like that. Just I mean, everybody lies, but Microsoft, god damn, they lie so fucking much that it just like if they tell a lie today, everybody will forget about it 2 hours later because that's just how much they lie. So yeah, Sam, shit, I miss the simple days, Samuel. You doing some VR gameplay later, Mister Pyle? VR game playing the VR game today would be a very welcome uh pastime today because Viera Tron, like Microsoft hasn't told any. I mean, if they told a recent lie in the last 12 minutes, I don't know about it. I'm just making a point that they lie so fucking much that anytime they anytime they say something and somebody can prove that it's a lie, it just it's old news within 2 minutes. Nobody's talking about it anymore because that's just how much they lie. Every third word that comes out of Microsoft mouth is a lie. So, impatient fire, what is up? Mr. Pyle, I am definitely going to do some VR gameplay today because I don't think I've done a VR stream at all this entire week. I've done a lot of podcasts. Um, Whether I join someone else's podcast or whether I've done my own, I've been doing a lot of podcasts this week and no gameplay. So this is, you know, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some VR gameplay today because it will be refreshing. It will be something that I enjoy that don't involve social, political, and gender issues and shit like that. And just go out there and just have some fun and not think about all this bullshit for a minute. Oh, I definitely got to play some Creed, Mister Pyle, because I've been messing up because I haven't been to the gym in almost 2 weeks. And in the beginning, at least the days that I didn't go to the gym, I at least played Creed, to at least keep the calories burning up, and but once they had that issue where I couldn't find a quick match, that kind of threw me off the game a little bit. So actually, I think I did do a stream last week. I think I did where I was doing my Arnold Schwarzenegger impression on Creed. So yeah, when I was using Victor Drago, I looked over to Mr. Balboa and asked him if he wants to come out of retirement. I would gladly challenge him to a match. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna do some kind of VR stream today. I have to get away from all this bullshit because um one of the great things, I think when the next generation comes and the next PSVR comes, I think it's gonna be great in the sense that we're gonna have bigger experiences. I think we could see more AAA experiences. Uh but I think I'm not so sure about the Sony exclusives, but I think like the third party, like for instance, let's say um, let's say next generation, EA was able to do the full blown Battlefield game in VR. That would be great, but it's going to be some fucking microtransactions that's going to come with it. It's going to be part of the package. Eden Prime, you said Sony's been competing with themselves for so long now. I think it doesn't matter anymore. Nintendo will push them through. Will push them though. I don't think Nintendo's going to push them because that's something different. It's a console, but Nintendo is going down a totally different road. So I think there's room for Microsoft. I mean, not Microsoft. There's room for both Nintendo and Sony to thrive in this market. They both have room to thrive and make money and don't have to step on each other to do it. Whereas Microsoft is so, that's that is the Microsoft motto is they can't say shit good about their own stuff without throwing dirt on Sony's. They can't sell you. They can't sell you that our stuff is actually good. They have to make you believe that Sony stuff is bad in order for them to believe that theirs is good. Amiris, I saw your message. I saw your message though. Um, and I like that little conversation that we had over the PlayStation Network. Just chatting it up, talking about the latest stuff. So yeah, I definitely would like to do that again. So yeah, but I saw your message, but I figured eventually you'd probably get the notification that I was streaming. And Samuel said, "You don't want Sony to become complacent with output of quality first party games." I think that because they are trying, I think because Sony is going to basically double down on VR and try to bring us bigger and better experiences. That means quality experiences. So I don't think they're going to get complacent with their first party stuff. Don't forget, Microsoft, even though I'm not sure what the point of it would be. Microsoft is still going to launch, multiple consoles with the Scarlet. So, so no, I mean, even if Sony will slaughter them next generation, Microsoft is still there, and they are still competition. And and Sony will still need to put out quality games to ensure that they stay in first place. When you get to the mountaintop, when you get to the mountaintop, you can't be complacent with just being at the mountaintop. You have to make sure you stay up there because there are still people at the bottom of that mountain that are slowly trying to climb their way back up to the top of that mountain to get to you. And you still have to keep doing what you did to get to that mountaintop and ensure that you stay up there. Amiris, you said you didn't realize it, but you can't wait to hear my input on the new VR games. Um, did I play Darrison yet? No, no, I haven't. And I'm not gonna lie, Amiris, I'm not in that big a hurry to play, horror games because I'm just not in the mood for jump scares. Um, because if there's ever a type of game that makes you totally immersed in VR, that is horror games. Because everything is quiet and then suddenly something jumps out in front of you and have you shitting bricks. You like somebody, I'm not, I'm about to say this. Some of those horror games in VRs, you got to change, you got to put on a diaper. You said it's not a horror game that you know of? Okay. All right, then I'll look into it. Um, and Samuel, I saw one of your comments where you said that that review tag has a video about Microsoft possibly being the leader of the next generation. That I no, no, they will not. One thing for certain is next generation Microsoft will not sell more consoles than the PS5. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that the Scarlet streaming console, because of how cheap Microsoft could possibly price it. I think that if Microsoft were to price their streaming console at $150 and they were to get it out in front of the PS5, yeah, they could make it a lot closer the next generation than it was this generation, but Sony's still going to win it. But the bottom line is Microsoft will not sell more consoles than Sony the next generation. If it happens, I'll eat those words, but they will not sell more consoles than Sony the next generation. And then as far as the subscription services goes, that is not, that's what anybody who thinks Microsoft is going to win the next generation, they think Microsoft is going to win the next generation based off of Game Pass. They got an uphill battle there too. Microsoft does not tell you. Microsoft is trying not to tell you the number of Microsoft won't tell you how many consoles they sold. Microsoft won't even tell you how many motherfucking Game Pass memberships is out there. All they will tell you is how many people played the game. 5 million users. That's all they'll tell you. If you turned on Resident Evil, not Resident Evil, if you turned on Sea of Thieves for 5 minutes and then shut it back off, you were a player. You were a part of that 5 million that they are counting. Those are the only numbers that Microsoft releases. If Game Pass was on fire like that, why ain't they telling us how many Game Pass memberships is out there? For the most part, the only people that are consistent subscribers to Game Pass are people who are supporting the Microsoft brand. If it wasn't for Game Pass, Microsoft might be having a liquidation sale right now. Yeah, Mirrors, if Microsoft wins the next generation, gaming is dead because they want to monopolize and monetize it. If Microsoft wins the next generation, if Microsoft does exactly what you said right there, where they monetize the shit out of somebody, then Sony will probably be forced to do the same shit in order to stay alive themselves. Yeah, Patient Fire, you said Game Pass isn't winning now. They're getting dominated by PS now. So I don't understand how somebody thinks that Microsoft is going to win the next generation, because with these subscription services, next generation, they're going to be, as far as from the console standpoint of it goes, they're going to be competing with PS Now. When you go outside of the console sphere, they're going to be competing with Steam. They're going to be competing with Steam. They're going to be competing with this new gaming service called Utopia, which is supposed to launch with over 600 games. And now Epic has decided to jump into this shit, and they're giving, and with the big cut that they plan on giving developers, 88-12 split for developers, a lot of developers are going to jump over to Epic. Microsoft is going to be fighting an uphill battle. So, jumping into this gaming service shit, everybody acts like Microsoft invented and revolutionized this shit. No, Microsoft is about to step into a fucking jungle into this gaming shit, to this games as a service shit. They was only dealing with Sony in the console space for the most part, but now when they jump out into this out into the PC world with this Game Pass shit, they gonna find out what a real jungle is like. I don't care about if they do own a shit ton of this Azure servers that they got, and everybody using this shit and stuff like that. Microsoft's still going to be competing with a bunch of other services. So Game Pass is just a way to give out their trash game that no one wants to buy. It's not a winning formula. Game Pass is loaded with 360 and indie games. Eden Prime, I said that a long time ago. I put it. In fact, not only did I say it in a long time ago, I put it in a rather harsh way. I said Microsoft brought in all these bootleg developers to develop bootleg games. Everybody else was being proper about it, saying AA studios for AA games. No, these dudes about to put out trash. Not only have I said these dudes about to put out trash, they about to put out more state of decay type games. They are also going to be probably putting out a ton of mobile games because Microsoft wants to reach 2 billion gamers, and there's no way you can do that on the console space alone. Look at it. Look at it this way. As far as the console space goes, if they rely on their own user base, they'll be lucky to reach 40 million people. So, like Craig was saying, it's still going to be critical for them to reach the PlayStation user base as well as the Nintendo user base. And even if they reach those user bases, they probably still wouldn't even hit 300 million. So you're still looking at 1.7 billion people that they are still trying to reach. There's no way they can reach 2 billion gamers in the console space. It can't happen. They have to go far beyond the console space. They're going to have to be aggressive in the mobile market. And I stand by what I said in Porter Rock's podcast that if they are going to go after 2 billion gamers, they are going to have to be super aggressive in the mobile market because that's probably the biggest gaming market out there. And a lot of people that fuck with mobile games fuck with free-to-play games. Those are the kind of games that Microsoft is going to have to put out if they plan to make a dent, into the mobile gaming field. They're going to have to put out free-to-play games. I don't care if they are getting a premium experience. You're still on a phone. So your phone, the hardware might be limited because you are on a phone. With that being said, there is no way I'm about to pay $10 a month to play a watered down limited version of Halo because I'm on my phone. I would rather go play a free to play first person shooter game and then decide whether I'm going to give them a couple extra bucks for microtransactions. Fuck that. Console gaming is my thing. That's where my money goes. Not into gaming on a phone. No, the Impatient Fire agree 100%. If I'm a casual gamer, and this is just my belief, I am not going to pay $10 a month to play Halo and Forza on my phone. What I would be willing to pay $10 a month for is to be able to play it on my console first and then have it at my disposal when I'm on the go. If I'm in the car and I'm on a road trip and this is going to be about a 3-hour ride or something like that, then I pull out my phone and play Halo, even though it's a watered down version or whatever. But I'm that much of a gamer that if I'm taking a long trip where it's about a 4-hour ride or something like that, if I'm going to be somewhere for like a week, I'm bringing my console with me. The very first trip I took to meet one of my online friends, it was this dude. His name was Fade to Black. We had been friends on the Xbox for a few years, playing games like Mech Assault and Crimson Skies, and we played a lot of games together. And finally, he was like, "Man, we need to hang out." He was like, "Man, you need to come out here to San Francisco and see this city." So finally, I did it. And what did I do? I packed my Xbox. I put my Xbox in a backpack and brought it with me from Michigan all the way to California because I was going to meet one of my online friends. Another one of my online friends was taking this flight with me, and a fourth online friend was going to be there. So I figured we were going to need more than one Xbox when we finally had that moment where we all sit down and kick it. So that whole adventure that I just explained to you, the only way Halo on a phone would have been any good to me would have been on the plane flight. Once I touch down and get to his house and get my console hooked up in his living room, that phone ain't coming out unless I need to make a phone call. So I do not think that Game Pass is going to fail. I don't think it's going to fail, but I don't think it's going to dominate either. because I think there's going to be so many services out there. Everybody and their mother coming up with a mobile service. Shit, I'm thinking about coming up with one. Have a games as a service called Lincoln Games. Thinking about starting up my own shit, and I'll have games like tic tac toe. Um, PLO, you said Microsoft wasn't the market leader for any generations. Of course not. So, so let's move on to what I think is a great subject. They call me, they can call me a corporate slave if they want, whatever. But let's move into what I think is a great subject. Um, Polish Paul. I watched the video. I watched one of his videos last week, and he showed a chart that the PSVR was the market leader in 2018. They um they shipped 1.3 million PSVR headsets in 2018, and the year isn't even up yet. And the only people who came even close to that, remotely close to that, was Oculus Go, and they sold they shipped 1.1 million. I think everything else, the regular Oculus headset and the Vive and shit like that, I think they only ship like, 300,000 and 400,000 respectively. So other than Oculus Go, PSVR blew everybody out of the water. Nobody was even close. And that goes back to me saying that if Sony had not gotten involved in the VR market, VR would have died by now. Because it is a very expensive habit. You've got to have a PC strong enough to push the shit. If you go buy a pre-built computer strong enough to push a Vive or Oculus, you're going to spend anywhere from 1,000 to $1,500. Even if you build your own computer, I think you're still looking at a minimum of $900 just for the computer. And then at the time when the PSVR when the PSVR first came out and it launched at $500, Oculus and Vive still cost $600 and $700. So you looking at a possible 2,200 bucks to get involved in VR, and you still see a lot of the same indie looking games. You still see a lot of the same indie looking games that's at the PlayStation VR library. So yeah, without a doubt, Sony saved VR. It would have died if they hadn't got involved in it. And I don't think it's because nobody Spartan guy when PlayStation VR first hit, they had two versions. The one was a $400 version. It was a $400 SKU, and they had the $500 SKU, and that one included the Move controllers as well as a copy of PlayStation VR Worlds. I think the $400 SKU didn't launch with any games, and it didn't have the Move controllers. You had the headset and the camera, and that was pretty much it. But also say also hats off to Sony for giving people enough free content at the PlayStation Store. I know it works for everybody. You give people content for free so they can make use of this PSVR, and it helps Sony because people show VR to their friends when they come over. I did it when my brother came over. When my brother came over about a week and a half ago, I said, "Here, try this." My brother is a car fanatic. He loves cars. So what better way to introduce him to VR by putting them in the seat, of one of these Le Mans cars in GT Sport. He played it, and he didn't badmouth it. He took the headset off. He said that shit is a little too real for me. So I took that as a roundabout compliment of PlayStation VR. And so I said, here, let me do it. So I jumped behind the wheel and I drove the car because he was spinning out all over the place. And I was trying to tell him, you got to respond to that steering wheel. When you feel that steering wheel getting shaky and getting funny, you got to adjust to it. That's your feedback. So when I played it for him and showed him how good it can look when you can drive. So he could drive too. It's just something that he needed to, it's something that he needed to get used to. But short story long, I'm just making a point that if you have a PSVR, you're going to show it to people when they come over, especially if it's affordable. If you got a PC and a Vive headset that costs you $2,200, sure you're gonna show it to people when they come over here. Try this out, but you're not getting them to drop $2,200 to buy that shit. If you catch them on sale, you can show that PlayStation to somebody, that PSVR, and for the right people, you can convince them to drop $200 for the PlayStation and $200 for the VR. My cousin hit me up the day after Black Friday. He bought a VR. And he texted me and said, "Man, cuz you was right." He was like, "Man, this VR is fire." He was like, "Man, I'm playing this Creed. I'm getting it worked out. It's fun." And it's like he instantly jumped on Facebook and was like, "Man, y'all guys got to get this VR and shit like that." So, yeah, if Sony hadn't made this shit affordable, VR would have been dead. So, Eden Prime, you just picked up the VR bundle on the weekend. Um, which one did you get? Because they're starting to come out with several kinds of bundles. Like right now, the bundle that's out there is the Creed Super Hot bundle and the Astrobot Moss bundle. I understand over in the UK they are coming out with like what they call a mega bundle that's got 5 games in it, like VR World. I think like Astrobot, Creed, Moss. Like 5 games or something like that. 5 games that was pretty much hits on PlayStation VR. You got the Creed Bundle Entertainment Wizard. That is so good to hear. I'm so happy to hear that a lot of that all my homies, all you guys are getting on board with this VR. It's affordable. It's affordable now. Pretty much everybody in this chat has a PlayStation. Now, when it shit comes up on sale for $200, you can snatch up one, plug it into your PlayStation, and boom, you have a whole different gaming genre. Spartan God, I think you'll end up coming back to VR sooner or later, especially the next generation. Um, when Sony plans to, bring us bigger and better experiences. No better way to game than on the PlayStation. You have your third party games, you have those incredible PlayStation exclusives, and then you have VR. And even though, for the most part, Vita is dead, but that's still there if you choose to do that. There's still a ton of games on the Vita if you do that, if you want a game on the go. Eden Prime, you said there was 2 bundles in Australia: the Mega Bundle with 5 games and the Basic Bundle with Astrobot. I picked up the Basic. Also got Arizona Sunshine and Tetris Effect. I have not played Arizona Sunshine yet because that game is still a little too pricey for me. That game still seems a real retail. Thrash, what is up? Do what you do. You know, hey, uh, Thrash, you want to come in here and fuck around for a minute? Said Dark Side Have it. You at work playing Vita right now. See, that's cool. My only disappointment with the Vita was that I was misled to believe that the Vita was still going to allow you to play games online against, people on the PlayStation console. I think they tried that with the previous Vita, the last generation of Vita, whatever it was, and that was just absolute crap. Yeah, Maris, of course you can join me on here one of these days. Because I definitely enjoyed the conversation that we had. All right, give me a second here, Mr. Thrash, and I will send you a link. Copy. Messages. Let's see the round table. Let me find Thrash in particular. King Thrash Gaming. Message. Paste. There you go, Thrash. My guards will await you at sector 21 at the Invisible Dome. You have the coordinates. Along with those coordinates, we'll give you the proper flight pattern. We will see you when you reach Wakanda. So, Emiris, I think I want to wait until we have a big week for VR. Whether it's some good game releases or we get some new VR numbers, because when Polish Paul did that video saying that 1.3 million VR units have been shipped through 2018, I think I think the Black Friday numbers hadn't been accounted for yet. So I'd like to think I want to hope in another week or so maybe we'll get some numbers or maybe another hit game will come out for PSVR. And I'll gladly have you come on here because I definitely want to talk some VR because we definitely on the same page there. So if you people hear me fumbling about, that's me headed to the refrigerator because I am about to have a glass of ginger ale and mango juice mix. Oh, that is so delicious. Very delicious. In the words of J Tech, delicious and juicy. It is very refreshing with ginger ale and mango juice. I do not know if there is a more refreshing combo. Oh shit. That's it. I just used the last of the ginger ale, so I'll have to get up and go get some after this podcast. I still got plenty of mango juice, um, but gotta go get some more ginger ale. Speaking of my son, I bought a huge Christmas gift for him, and I gave it to him yesterday. Something, he's still going to get other stuff for Christmas, but what I gave him yesterday was by far the biggest Christmas gift I've ever given him. And something like in my gut told me to just go ahead and give it to him now and don't make him wait. I don't know why, but something in my gut said go ahead and give it to him now. Um, about I want to say about 2-3 weeks ago, I bought the sex down. No, I hope he ain't getting that freaky. Not that early. About 2-3 weeks ago, I bought the Hisense H9, and that is the 9100 E Plus ULED TV. That is the top of the line Hisense TV, and I've said this on more than one occasion. This TV looks amazing. I don't think you can get a better picture unless you were to jump up to like a QLED or an OLED TV. You know, to get I think to get a better picture than this TV provides, you're gonna have to spend $2,000-3,000 on a TV. Like that 55-inch OLED, I think C8 or something like that at Walmart. That shit started, that shit was $2,200. And I think the 65-inch, I think that one was like $2,800, which that is probably going to be my next TV. I mean, I'm more than happy with this H9, but that's probably going to be my next TV, and it's probably going to be my last TV. So, what I got my son for Christmas, um, you know, when the first time he saw this H9 and he hooked this Xbox One X up to this H9, he immediately saw the difference. And he said, I want this TV, I want this TV, I want this TV. And he knew a 65-inch was out of the question. Um, but I did buy him the 55-inch Hisense H9 for his bedroom. And that was still $650. And it's the exact same TV that I got, except that it's the 55-inch version of it. It still supports HDR10, Dolby HDR, wide color gamut, 10-bit panel, all that good stuff. So it's got all the bells and whistles of the big boys without the big boy tag. So he is enjoying the TV as we speak right now. So um, the 55-inch Hisense H6 that was in my bedroom, I took it out of the bedroom and put his TV in there so he can enjoy it for the weekend. So he is in there playing his Xbox, playing Gears of War 4, stuff like that with his friends. He's just having the time of his life. So um, I'm still going to get him something for Christmas, but just something in my gut told me to just go ahead and give him this gift right now. You said you like your 49-inch XH100F. That's isn't that a Sony? Ah, okay, cool. And it's an E. Um, I'll put it to you this way. Amiris. This H9 Plus, I paid. It was a 65-inch, 65-inch. I paid $1,000 for it. A 65-inch TV for $1,000. This TV had the best picture. Anything else, a 65-inch TV, anything else that had a better picture than this was, like I said, there was like OLED TVs and QLED TVs and Sony TVs that cost $2,000 and $2,500 and shit like that. So if you want a 65-inch TV for $1,000, this H9 is the best TV you can buy. Anything else, you got to drop some coin. Spartan God, oh, look at Lincoln being all fatherly and shit. If only Phil Spencer would be like that to the Xbox community. Ah, um, in mirrors, you said your Sony cost you $850 last year, and you said that was what, a 49-inch. See, here's the thing, mirrors. Once I got turned on to a 65-inch TV, there wasn't any turning back. My first 4K TV. Now, um, Sony, if my memory serves me right, they revealed the Xbox. I mean, not Xbox. They revealed the PS4 Pro in August of 2016 and said that the console would launch in November of 2016. So as soon as they made that reveal, I immediately went out and bought a 4K TV because I didn't want to get caught in a situation where I have to buy the TV and the console on the same day. So I went and bought the TV first, and I went and bought a 55-inch Vizio D series, I believe it was, and I paid $650 for that. It did not have HDR because I didn't know about the HDR shit back then. I thought all TVs came standard with HDR. Back then, HDR was the new shit, and you paid considerably more money for a TV that had HDR. It didn't matter what the brand was. So I bought the 55-inch Vizio, and about a week after I bought that Vizio, they had a 65-inch Vizio, same model, the D series or whatever, that normally sold for $1,200, and it went down to $998. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! So I went to them. I said, "Hey, I just bought this 55-inch um a week ago." I said, "Can I bring it back, get in-store credit, and use that to buy this 65-inch Vizio?" They was like, "Oh, sure." Brought it back. That's exactly what they did. They credited the 55-inch TV back to my credit card, and then I bought the 65-inch. After I bought that 65-inch, then that's when the HDR shit sunk in. That's when I realized, okay, I had to have a TV that had HDR. It looked amazing, but it didn't have HDR. So when I bought my son his TV, a 50-inch Hisense H6, that was the first time I had saw HDR when I put my PlayStation Pro on there and looked at Battlefield 1 in HDR. The shit looked like a damn computer monitor. And I was like, so I sold me not I didn't sell my Vizio. I put that shit, I took it off the damn TV stand, put it up against the wall, and immediately went and bought a 65-inch Hisense. So I gotta have no less than 65 inches. Short story long, Emiris, whatever I buy, it's gotta be no less than 65 inches. Samuel, you said my 4K HDR OLED 65 ran me 2,500. That's probably what I'm gonna end up getting. My next TV. I'm probably gonna end up getting one of those OLED TVs. I was in Walmart, and like I said, I think they had a 65-inch OLED. I think it was like a C8 or something like that, and it was $2,700. And I can't take my eyes off that shit. That's probably gonna be my next TV because I'm not trying to drop 4,000 for like a 65-inch, Q8 or Q9. Eden Prime, you did the same. Your first 4K TV didn't have HDR. See, but when I bought it on not knowing or not having done my research. I bought the TV, and somebody said to me, "Does the TV have HDR?" And I said, "Yeah, I assume it does," because I assumed it. I thought 4K and HDR were one and the same, so I figured HDR was standard with all 4K TVs, and I found out that they didn't. So you got an LG. Like I said, that's probably gonna be my next TV. That 65-inch LG C8 or whatever it is, for about $2,700. That's probably gonna be my next TV. But truth be told, I think I'm going to wait until the PS5 comes out before I buy that TV. Once we get an exact date when the PS5 is going to come out, that's when I'm just going to start getting everything in place to get that TV, because I'm going to have that TV before the PS5 comes out. Yeah, I'm going to have it. And I'm supposed to be moving into a different position within my job that starts out at $2 more an hour than what I'm making. So yes, that will be my next TV. Will be that OLED TV. But if I don't get it, it won't be the end of the world because this H9 is still an amazing TV. Skyfall, you have a 55-inch 4K TV with no HDR? Well, in my opinion, if you don't have a 4K player with HDR, if you don't have one of the consoles that have HDR, then I guess that's not, there's not that big of a deal. So if your source doesn't output HDR, then you having a TV that doesn't have HDR is not that big a deal. Because if your source doesn't output HDR, your TV wouldn't be able to implement it anyway. But if you bought an Xbox One X or a PlayStation Pro and you have a TV that does not have HDR, you might want to reconsider getting one. Because that, and I've seen the difference too, with the wide color gamut and HDR10 and all that kind of shit. Probably try to get a TV that's got all that stuff, because I've seen what Battlefield looks like. I've seen what it looks like on the PlayStation Pro on my H9, and I've seen what Battlefield looks like on my H6. And the HDR in both of those TVs makes a world of difference. So the HDR and the wide color gamut, all that shit makes a world of difference, because this H6 does not have a wide color gamut. Yeah, PLO, you said you want a PS4 Pro, but mainly for VR. But hey, it doesn't help that it also, looks nicer too. Jamal King, what's up? You getting judgment for PS4? I don't know what that is, to tell you the truth. So, but I think I'll be able to wrap it up here soon, because I want to get off into some gaming. Right now on the TV, I have Falcons and Packers playing right now.
Look at the Packers.
Uh-oh. Whoa. We just had a change of pressure within the dome at Sector 21. My guards have alerted me that a ship has just arrived, and they are informing me that it is Thrash. Welcome to Wakanda, my man.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna call myself Nostradamus Game today. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
Call myself.
So what you got going on Sunday?
Shit, nothing really. I got a video to put out, but shit, I'm trying to rest today, get some game in, and get ready for work tomorrow, man.
Exactly.
It's hard.
Boy. Oh boy.
Go ahead.
I'll leave it alone.
Well, no, what happened?
I did something.
Oh shit.
And I don't exactly sure I want to comment on it.
Ooh, shit. Damn. Niggas did some non-comments. You must have some alone time with Titanfall or something. Damn. Damn.
Yeah, we had a night together, and I was in my JTech voice, and we had a wonderful evening. No, I'm just playing, y'all. Don't take that serious. No.
Damn. And it's Sunday? Nigga lost for words on Sunday.
God, yeah, fuck it. Let me go ahead and get it out, man. I bought an Xbox One S.
Oh, well, shit. I got one too.
See, but
why? So you can play what? So you can play Ashen or something or what?
No, I mean already had a standard Xbox One.
Mm-hmm.
But my reason for buying an Xbox One S was, see, I got Battlefield 5 on both consoles. But on my PlayStation Pro, on this Hisense H9, it looks tremendous. But when I got into my bedroom and played it on the standard Xbox One, man, the colors was all washed out and shit like that. And you can see that anti-aliasing, all those silver lines on the outside of the characters and shit like that. Shit just like sprinkling everywhere. And so I decided to go ahead and.
What's your rule down there?
She didn't let me finish. I did get those shoes.
No.
Yeah, I get that shit online. You don't fucking go in.
Hold on, real quick, nigga.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know, Mr. Pyle. How dare you? PLO said not the X. No, I didn't buy the X. I wasn't dropping $500 for that.
All right, my bad.
Oh, it's all good. So bottom line was I wanted to, because I have Battlefield on both platforms, I wanted to be able to play it in 4K HDR on the Xbox as well. Because the Xbox One S is in my bedroom, and I have a 4K HDR TV in my bedroom. And I wanted to play in 4K HDR, play Battlefield in 4K HDR, but it was no way I was going to drop $500 for the X, and I wasn't even going to drop $400 again for another Pro.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
So with that being said, I'm in a situation where it does look better than what I had. It does not look because it's the Xbox One S, and I don't have the same TV in my bedroom that I have in the living room. It doesn't compare. It doesn't compare to the Pro.
Well, no, it'll never compare to the Pro.
No, but it still looks better than what I had, so I'm cool with that. And then not only that, last week I bought some of those Turtle Beach Recon 200 amplified headphones for they were on sale for $50. These are amplified headphones, and the sound is comparable to those PlayStation Gold headphones. So now I've got both. When I play Battlefield, I've got both sides covered. When I play it on the PlayStation, I can use my PlayStation Gold headphones, and when I play in the bedroom on the Xbox One S, I can use those Turtle Beach headphones. Because they are specifically tuned. You can they have separate switches for the Xbox and the PlayStation, so those look amazing. If you want some quality headphones without dropping a ton of money for it, I would definitely recommend those Turtle Beach Recon 200s. They were on sale for $50. Those are quality headphones. I would definitely recommend it if you want those and want quality headphones and don't want to spend $150 or some shit like that. So great headphones.
Right. Oh no, yeah, of course.
So I don't know. So did you see that throwdown between J Tech and Porter Rock yesterday?
Yeah, I saw a little bit of it and shit. I was watching it, you know what I'm saying? But I was with my damn girl. We went to an art festival, nigga. Cause I'm an artist and she had got some tickets and shit like that, trying to be all nice. I'm like, I don't feel like being around these weird ass people. Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all something right now, man. There are some beautiful women in art, my nigga. Like when I was like, God damn, I'm over there like had to pull my girl closer so I could look over her shoulder.
Yeah, but are they did they paint the pictures or they?
No, it was more.
Did they date the artists or the curators? What?
No, these were other artists going to see the other artworks. You know what I'm saying? It's called 29 Rooms. It's like these 29 different art pieces you can go see, right? But these were like what do you call that shit? Like the kind of art that it's not like really drawn. It's more like there was one to where it was about Black Lives Matter, and you go into this dark room and you see 4 different screens and all of them showing some shit, but sending a message about equality and what it really means and all that shit, but saying it in a different way. Like that's art too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different way of teasing the eye, basically. It's another like it's a lot. It was a lot of different ones, a lot of crazy ones. You know what I'm saying? It was one that put a blindfold over your eye, put some headphones in your ears, and you walk through this room in the dark, basically without being able to see. And you gotta touch the wall and follow the wall, and the wall will change from like they start you with a pole, and like they like follow the pole, but then the pole start going up and down and all crazy. And then the pole disappears, and you just touching a wall and some grass and flowers and like. But the headphones are telling you a story while you're going through it, so it's like you're in the story with your imagination. So it's like different type of crazy art shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's expensive as fuck to even get into one of these. And there was some fine ass bitches, blacks, whites, Asians, didn't matter. Fine. Majority fine bitches. At PSX, 2% were pretty. At this shit, it was like 78% was just like, God damn. I was surrounded. I was like, damn, I could have went here by myself. Nigga. I mean, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous bitches, bro. Real shit. I'm like, God damn, that's where these bitches is at. Yeah. 29 rooms in LA. You know what it is. Yep.
Damn.
You know what it is, Almighty Cal. Yeah, but that big ass chair in the front. Yeah. Yep. But that shit was, I was like, God, it was fun though. We had fun and shit. You know what I'm saying? They had drink and shit. Was up there drinking, chilling, posted, talking. You know what I'm saying? Talking to people, and I did some art up there and shit. Had them all, like, oh shit, this nigga is an artist. I'm not only am I fine, bitch, I'm an artist as well. Nigga, the fuck, nigga, I drew a PlayStation Pro for them niggas too. Like, they get 5 seconds. Nah.
All right. So, being that you play Battlefield and you like the game, especially the multiplayer, in keeping with the beginning of my podcast, have you experienced anything where you play a session, you leave the session and come back and join a new session, and by default you are a woman?
Yeah.
You have or have not experienced that?
I think I have. I think you can choose though. You can choose what class you want to be what, but then it's still kind of glitchy because I had a chick and that bitch was looking fly as fuck. That I made like you can like customize them, but then sometimes it won't work. You know what I'm saying? Damn, what the fuck is this? Hold on, quick. They're just calling them shit. Hold
on. Okay.
Hold on.
What the hell? Okay, well, let me check out some comments while we're waiting for Thrash to come back. Hey, Mirrors, you said 2% were pretty at PSX. Now you know why those women want girls in video games. So now you know why they want girls in video games ugly. He said the place he went got hella bitches. Okay. All right, then. Next time I'm in LA, that's something I'm gonna have to check out. Make sure I go there, with my Terry Crews pump on.
My bad. I have to unlock doors and shit.
All right, that's what's up. Now, what I've experienced on Battlefield, mostly in the sniper class, by default, I'm a woman. So I go into the settings and I choose Leo, the black dude that was on the cover of Battlefield 1. I choose him. I go into a session. I leave the session and I leave the game and go find a new game to join. When I come back into the new game, the game has defaulted me as a woman again. And I have to go into the settings again and set the character that I want again. And this has been happening to me, This has been happening to me on both the Xbox and the PlayStation. So it led me to believe that, EA was trying to force the agenda down everybody's throat.
You think so? Well, nah. Well, the same thing happened in Battlefield One, though, right? And niggas was complaining
No,
about Battlefield One because it was a black guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, the black guy's a sniper. Oh, I don't want to be a black guy.
right. They complained about that because when will they won't complain? But
Right.
in Battlefield 1, whatever character I chose, it remained as that character. I didn't have to keep coming back and change it every time, I went into a new game.
Hmm.
And
Oh, I think.
that's what I'm experiencing here. I'll go into a game.
Mhm,
I start out as a woman. I'll
mhm,
go into like grand operations because I love grand operations.
mhm,
I'll start out as a woman. I'll
mhm,
select a different character. Most of the times, it's usually Leo. When I leave that game, and then I come back and go find another game. When I go into the next game, it defaults me as a woman again, and I have to go into the settings again
mhm.
and choose that
Do it all
character.
over.
Yeah,
Nah,
since it was happening on both the Xbox and the PlayStation, it was leading me to believe that EA was trying to force that shit down to people's throat. And I
mm,
would be, and I don't think you could blame me for thinking that way, given all the shit that's done happened with this game, where they slap people in the face with that launch party they had with all the snippets on the TV screen, the Gender 5 and all that kind of shit, and all the other shit, with if you don't like it, don't buy it, and all that shit. So it just led me to believe that EA is just trying to force their agenda down everybody's throat.
true. That might be it, but I don't look. I'm gonna say it like this, and this is why. Right, I always think of shit when I think about what these do in a business sense. Right, like I know one thing about EA is that they're not charging for the maps this year. It's the first time there's no premium. Right, that's $50.
Mm-hmm.
Most people were buying the premium because when they came with their maps, they came with some maps. And their maps is always big. Everything is always nice. So people buy the premium. Now they're not doing the premium. And it's like, okay, where do you make that money back from? That's millions of dollars you flushing down the toilet. Where are you going to get that money from? The money that where they're going to get that money from is the little system they got with the little money. And you got to buy, you could buy a different costume with a different character and different this and gun colors and all that shit, right? They want to do a lot of cosmetic shit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something wrong with the system to where it resets you every time. I don't think they're doing it on purpose. I think because it's gonna fuck with their money. If they're doing it on purpose, like say if you buy all it and then it keeps on fucking up and taking you back to this some chick whenever you pick it or whatever, that's all plain, is regular, not the character you created. It loses the money that they supposed to be making to make up for the money that they gave up.
Mm-hmm.
I That's why I think it was. I noticed this shit too, but I think it's either a glitch or just something they need to patch to get everything fixed up. Because Battlefield takes about a year to be complete. To be honest, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Like they haven't even put hardcore in yet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm a hardcore nigga. I played nothing but hardcore. Like I didn't buy Battlefield One. No, I bought Battlefield One, but I found out it didn't have a hardcore. I barely played that shit until hardcore came out. And the same thing with this one. I barely play this one now because I'm like, man, I need my hardcore.
Right.
And it always takes them some time to balance guns and do hardcore shit. You know what I'm saying? We basically still in the beta phase of Battlefield. So they might fix it. If they don't fix it, then you're just right. I feel that maybe they are, but why would they do it? My thing is why would they shove that down the throat? It doesn't make them money. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit is only going to upset people, especially if you letting people customize the character. Why would you take that away from them if that's where your money is? You know what I'm saying? That's why I feel like I feel like it's a glitch. I feel like they need to fix their fucking games faster. But
Mm-hmm.
if that's the agenda, I'm like, then who's making that call? You know what I'm saying? And why? It has to be, it's business, so it has to be a reason. It's always a reason for something. There was a reason why Phil Spencer walked up. I mean, Phil Spencer and Sean Layden and the Nintendo ugly nigga Reggie all walked up on stage at the same time for the first time and talk about equality and us and we. It's always a reason. It's always a business reason behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And There's it's just I mean, if you look at the whole VMA, yeah, whatever the fuck the Video Game Awards, that shit was all business. All business. They put so many commercials in our faces. It was insane. Same with Xbox XO. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not used to that because we used to watching E3, to where it's a conference, and the conference goes all the way through. You know what I'm saying? And even Sony gave us a commercial in the last motherfucking E3 after they did the first segment with The Last of Us. They had moved over to those three people on the panel talking about dumb shit, and then they continued after that. So it's like everything is done for reasons. And I don't know. I don't if they are pushing the female agenda or the SDW whatever agenda on us. The question you have to ask is why, because there's always a reason. How does this make them money? You know what I'm saying? That's what you always got to approach these type of things with. How does it make them money? That's how I see it.
And
That's how I see it.
as far as this system being a possible glitch, if
Mhm.
this game was not marred in controversy, I would have agreed with you 100%. But
Mhm.
but once the backlash started about a woman, being on the front line, and then Patrick Soderlund jumping up calling people uneducated and
Mhm.
saying if you don't like the game, don't buy it. And they,
Mhm.
and however you want to say it, whether they fired him or whether they took a buyout
Mhm.
and left, or whatever the case may be,
Mhm.
either way, it happened after the pre-order numbers, showed that this game was not going to get off to a good start.
Right.
So to me, I look at it as they rather than say they fired him, I think they paid him to go away.
Mm.
Um, and I think, with that being said, as far as that goes, Phil Spencer was in the right place at the right time. When Microsoft pissed everybody off with that DRM shit, and Donnie D was the villain and the scapegoat. And so
Mhm.
it comes Phil Spencer.
Mhm.
It ain't about that he had a revolutionary plan. All he had to do was just say that we gonna fix the fuck ups. We gonna in so many words, we gonna fix what Donnie D tried to throw in your face, and he became an
Mhm.
instant hero.
Yeah, for no reason though, because he fixed nothing. I mean, even Donnie D is the one who actually took that shit away. It's the higher ups that made that shit happen. All these decisions that's made with these companies. Phil Spencer is just the face of Xbox, just like Don Matrick was. They're there to display a message and come up with a plan. But as far as the design of how they're gonna make money, this is the money. All this shit had to go through meetings. All this shit had to go through the higher ups looking at it and say, okay, I like this plan. Let's get that money. Now, Phil Spencer came in with the same exact plan, but just different. Like this, the whole narrative being pushed for Games Pass. I see gamers like Randall saying that, oh, you can get these games for free on Game Pass. So I'm like, wait a minute, my nigga. Like, Games Pass ain't free. You know what I'm saying? It's not free. You don't say that the game is free. You get Games Pass to get games. You're paying for those games, regardless of what it is. It's not free. But they want that narrative of gamers saying that shit is free when it's not. PS Plus, Xbox Live. The main reason that we are paying for PS Plus and Xbox Live ain't the free games. It's the playing online that we have to. It's basically forcing us to pay for that shit. 99, no, I can't say 99%, but maybe even 99% of the people, if they didn't have to pay to play online, they wouldn't. You know what I'm saying? They wouldn't have Xbox Live for those free games that they give us. Some would, some wouldn't. But they're not really free games either because we already paying a subscription for the service. But the main reason for the service is the online shit. With Games Pass, the main reason for the service is just the games. So when people say, "Oh, you get this Ashen for free," no, you don't get it for free. You're paying a monthly fee for a game that you might pay once. So it's like, or that you probably wouldn't have paid for at all. So it's a different narrative with Phil Spencer. Phil Spencer is making shit look nice. You know what I'm saying? Don Matrick was like straight up. He was an ass, but he told the truth straight out the fucking door. Phil Spencer has been lying and saying shit that you want to hear in order to sell the DRM. Games Pass is DRM. They tell you what games you're going to play. They tell you when you're going to play them. They're going to take away games from you. You have to be online to play these shits. If you don't, they will take these games away within 30 days. If you don't log in online. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, I'm telling you, it's way more. He made it more intricate. He made it looking sexy, but it's the same fucking shit. We don't own our games. They pushing Games Pass, and you don't own your games. Xbox fans are not accepting anything Phil Spencer does because they feel like he did something when he really did nothing. You know what I'm saying? So it's crazy how it is. It's crazy how niggas is jumping back and forth. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So jumping back over to the EA side about them, I'm just gonna say they paid Patrick Soderlund to go away, to disassociate themselves with the shit that he said.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, they may not, So my thinking was, okay, you try to disassociate yourself with Patrick Soderlund, but then you come back and you have this launch party where you got this giant TV screen that says, Battlefield 5, and then around it you got all these snippets of stuff that people were saying in the midst of the backlash, where they saying stuff like Genderfield 5 and feminazis or something like that is trying to rewrite history. White man, white man, white man. So what I'm saying is that like they fired Patrick Soderlund to try to disassociate themselves with all the negative shit that's going on with this game. And what do? They turn around and throw it back in people's faces again. The people that you want to buy this game. And so you have to draw the line. In my opinion, you have to draw the line between pushing an agenda and making money. I just don't think the two can coexist together, where you trying to push some kind of agenda that's going to rub people the wrong way and then still expect these people to buy your game. And I've made a point of that, using a restaurant as an example, that if there's a hot restaurant in town that is always packed and it is making a bunch of money and shit like that, if you go putting pictures, see, originally I was going to say that if you go putting pictures of like swastikas and shit like that on there, pictures of people being lynched, crosses burning and shit like that, I can still stick with that as an example. If they got shit like that posted all over the wall, they're going to lose business. From not only just black people, white people too. People are not going to come there because there's a lot of people you pushing an agenda. And in my sense, when you push an agenda, you take a side, and not everybody's going to be on your side. Therefore, you're going to lose some business.
What's the agenda? What agenda are they pushing?
With that's what I'm trying to figure out. My belief is that it came down with Battlefield. It came down to one of two things. They are either trying to attract female gamers or they are trying to appease SJWs.
Really? The two smallest markets?
How else could you explain them putting out a trailer of a woman on the front line in the Second World War?
I mean, I guess the way I didn't look at it. I mean, I guess I don't look at it like that. I don't look at games like that. I look at games as a fantasy world that we play to get out of the real world.
And that's the way it should. And that's the way it should be. But the game, no less. The game was met with a backlash, and then Patrick Soderlund jumped up and called people uneducated.
Well, there were women in that war, though. There were women I don't think they were in the front lines, but they were in that war.
That's what people is getting upset about.
Right, but why are gamers getting upset about shit like that? Like nobody's upset about using a needle to wake somebody up or just patting them on their chest and then all of a sudden all your wounds are healed. Like if people are mad about the realism, why the fuck are you mad if you wake up, if you die and then you wake up and you respawn? There was none of that in war. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like people are moving away from some reason are moving away from games and the actual game itself to be mad about bitches in games. I mean, I'm mad that I can't look down and see a cleavage, to be honest. Let me see some titties. Like if they want to put females in their game, why are we so mad about having females in the game for? Like I can see if they running around in pink and switching like men and I understand that shit, but I mean, goddamn, like it's just a game. Like, why aren't we enjoying the games that we're supposed to enjoy? Why are we worried about like if it's a female in there because it didn't happen in real life? None of this shit happened in real life. Like Nobody's putting gas in tanks before they pull them out. Nobody's cleaning the gears in between the wheel after they roll through the mud. Nobody's doing all the super realistic shit because there's no fun in it. I feel they put women in there just to add a little spice to the fucking game, whether it's realistic or not. It's already not realistic. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's already not. I've seen people try to shoot people 2 and 3 times in the head with certain guns. That's just not realistic. You know what I'm saying? Like you get shot in the head, you're fucking dead. That is it. Nobody complaining about that shit, but they want to complain about females. Why? I understand. They had her. They started the game off in the trailer, and they had a redhead chick, which I wish I could fucking play with. But like I guess it seemed like they was pushing towards all of that shit. And you can blame a lot of games. Ellie kissing another bitch, Gears of War having a chick about having the shit about the chick, and all this shit about the SJW. But that shit is linked more to social media than it is to actual game. I think people have been making females the main character for a minute. Don't forget the backlash that Tomb Raider took. You know what I'm saying? When she first started, she's just a girl. She just has big titties and whoop, bam. One of the best games franchises in history. You know what I'm saying? Like we as gamers we not supposed to worry about all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see the reason I don't see an agenda is because there ain't no money in an agenda like that. There's just no money. They lost. I see a lot of reviewers review this game low because of this shit, and I'm like, God damn, did you have fun? Did you play the game to see if it was fun, or did you play the game to have your own agenda on this shit? Like it's like these motherfuckers are like, I don't like women in the game. It's not historically accurate, but then you're going to ignore everything else that's not accurate historically.
Mhm.
Doesn't make to me it just doesn't make sense. Niggas like this shit is like we don't need to be worried about this type of shit. We need to be worried about the game. Is the game good? Is the game fun? Thank you. I would take that
Right.
over anything else. You know what I'm saying? Is the game fun? Let it be fun. You know what I'm saying? Like if I mean, god damn, if motherfuckers ain't tripping that Cleopatra was white or that what's her name? Black Widow played the major nigga. Like those are things that bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like because these characters shouldn't be played by white people. You know what I'm saying? They should be played by the race of these peoples are in there. But this is because these shits is based. These are movies, and there's plenty of black people to play those parts, or plenty of Asian people to play those parts. This here is a game to where it's all 100% fantasy to where we supposed to be able to customize whatever we want to do in it. They supposed to be able to customize whatever they want to do in it. As
Mhm.
long as it's a fun thing, then it's great. I thought that the movie, the Ghost in the Shell movie was good, regardless if the major was white for some reason. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I didn't take a point off of it. I just thought it was stupid. And I think that's what a lot of people think. A lot of people think it's stupid to actually force women into the game. So I understand it, but to say it's an agenda, I don't know what the agenda would be, because at the end of the day, they all just want to make money. That's
So
how I see.
I felt their agenda was to try to attract female gamers, which I don't have a problem with that. You know, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy is one of my favorite games. So I definitely don't have a problem with women being in the game.
Mhm.
So I definitely want to be clear about that. That I don't have a problem with a woman being in the game. I don't have a problem with EA trying to attract female gamers. What I'm trying to say is that I didn't think it was smart when they faced all that backlash was to try to push back and that by calling people uneducated and shit like that. That's not
Hey,
smart. When you've already pissed your people off who may possibly buy this game, or you are trying to get people to buy this game,
mhm.
to target a certain group and call them uneducated and tell them if you don't like the game, don't buy it. Some of that is going to actually come true.
Oh yeah, no, it already came true. Like this shit is that's why he lost his job over that shit, right?
Hmm.
So it's like it already like the back already happened. Like that's not business like. You don't tell the customer what you think ever. You know what I'm saying? The customer is always right, even though they wrong. You know what I'm saying? Even when they wrong, they right. That's just how the customer always right is. You don't tell them what that means is you don't tell them to their face that they wrong. You just make the proper adjustments to just say what they want to their face, basically lie to their ass, and then do what you're supposed to do in business behind closed doors. He did what he was doing in front of everybody. He should never. You can't do that shit. You can't expect people to buy your product if you're telling them to shut up. You're uneducated. You know what I'm saying? Like it shouldn't even be about that. I mean, of course the nigga wrong. The nigga should have lost his job. If you're gonna come at you, it's bad for business. At the end of the day, it's all business. He got fired because of business, not because of what he said, but because of the money that he had potentially lost for them. And they would be able to get that money that they would normally lose back if they were to fire him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? They fired him for the PR of what he said. They know what he said is probably in their eyes truth. That's probably what they say in their meetings. But they had to do what they had to do. And that man is probably passionate about his work. I mean, these people work for years on this shit. And for everybody to ignore the hard work that they put into the game, they only look at, oh, there's females in it. I'd probably be frustrated too. You know what I'm saying? Like, god damn. Like I put in, nigga, you know how many sleepless nights I had? You know how many times I skipped on pussy to get this game out in a timely manner, working for y'all niggas? Like
Hmm.
I worked my ass off. Why are y'all niggas worried about something as small as there's a female in the game? What is going on with gamers to where now we're worried about females? Like it just don't make sense. Like Chung Li is an icon, nigga, Tomb Raider icon, nigga. Like I don't need to. It shouldn't matter whether female or not, as long as the game work well. Is what I see.
Right,
You know what
and I agree
I'm
with that
saying?
100%. So my belief was that by them getting rid of Patrick Soderlund and trying to disassociate themselves with Patrick Soderlund, they was trying to tell buyers that look, we don't agree with what this dude said. You know, we want this game to be for everybody, or whatever the case may be. I thought that was the message that they were trying to send. But then they go off and have this Christmas party and they take snippets from everything that people were saying negatively about this game and then try to spit it back into their face.
Yeah,
And
that's what he fucked up.
and then the shit gets printed all over the internet. That also is going to hamper sales. So, you know, there comes a time where if that you got to keep your mouth shut. In like they could have took a page from Activision because look how much shit Call of Duty was taking, Black Ops was taking because it
Mm-hmm.
didn't have a campaign. They
Mm-hmm.
gave out their little funky excuse, and then that was the end of it. They didn't talk about it no more. And look how that game blown up. It's one of the hottest games out there, even though the shit has no campaign. I think the same thing could have happened to Battlefield if they had to try to fight back and forth with the user base that they want to buy this game.
All right.
Whether there was an agenda or not, whether there was an agenda or not. One thing was for certain is they were fighting with consumers. That is never a good thing
No,
if
it's
you're trying
not,
to get
and it
them. If
happened.
you're trying to get them to buy it.
It's not, and it happened. It's happened plenty of times, especially when it comes to this extra shit. It's happened plenty of time. Remember that one dude that was talking about? Was he talking about black people? I forgot. I forgot. Oh no, it was a black dude. He was saying some old fly shit about white people, I think, and they fired his ass, and he should have been fired because what the fuck you talking about? But like, it gets bad when shit hits the public. Like I said, a lot of shit should be said behind closed doors. A lot of shit shouldn't when it comes to satisfying your customer. I just wish that these same customers were as passionate about the agendas that is going on with these major companies right now. We worried about females in the EA game instead of worried about microtransactions in the EA game. We
Right.
worried about all this shit. We got Phil Spencer selling you service on top of service on top of service, and that's supposed to be okay. We got all these third party companies is gonna make their own service for their own set of games, and the only way to play those shits is to be subscribed to them. That's what's gonna be the future of this shit. Is just they want everybody to be subscribed to their own. If you want to play EA games, subscribe to them. You want Microsoft games, subscribe to them too. You want Capcom games, subscribe to them also. Like we're gonna find it to where we're paying like $100 something a month just to play a set of games that we would normally just buy one of. You know what I'm saying? It's coming to the point to where we worrying too much about the shit that don't matter. We worrying too much about the small. EA fucked up. It's Battlefield has never been that popular game. It's always been Call of Duty, no matter how much Call of Duty fucks up. I don't understand why niggas ain't mad about Call of Duty, to be honest. But niggas, regardless, yeah, Battlefield was never going to be that game. You know what I'm saying? It's good for people who play it. It's a great game, but a lot of it's too complicated for some people. It's too big for some people. Some people don't know how to use cars to get across the goddamn map, or to just spawn on their own team. Some people say, "Oh, I gotta run across the map." Bitch, spawn on your own team, nigga. It's a squad based game. A lot of people don't understand that shit, so it
Mhm.
turns a lot of people off to begin with. Call of Duty, you just jump in there, you pull a trigger, that's it. So it's like it's Battlefield was never going to be that game. I don't see the agenda. I just don't see the money in pushing an agenda. I think they were just trying to get more of the Call of Duty crowd into it. This game is way faster, it's way quicker, the guns kill way faster. Call of Duty got females in their games. Nobody says shit about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's they have to find a different
have
way.
to keep in mind though, but
Mhm.
Call of Duty has never put a woman on the cover of their games. And not only that,
That's exactly.
in
They
Call of
want a
Duty,
copy of Call of Duty, but they don't want to do the same exact shit as Call of Duty. Like why?
Mhm.
What's wrong with having a woman on the cover of the game? Like it's just the cover.
absolutely nothing. But I think that if Activision would have done that and would have put a woman on the cover of the games,
Mhm.
I think they would have lost some sales because that's just the way it is. People would have started crying about it.
Right,
I
but
don't
who's crying about? Like, are these gamers that are crying about it? You know what I'm saying?
definitely.
Like, that's my question. Like, if a nigga is an actual gamer, a nigga don't give a fuck. When I pick up Tomb Raider, that bitch is on the cover. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like as long as the game is good, is the only thing that we should be worried about. Is it a
Mhm.
good game? If it's a bad game, fuck your game. But the difference between a woman soldier and a man soldier is absolutely nothing when you're playing the game. They both pull the trigger the same. They both jumping over the gates the same. They both run the same speed. There is no difference. You just have a girl voice and some titties. That's it. I don't understand.
But the
Hold
but
on,
the,
nigga. Go ahead.
yeah,
My girl calling me.
but
Go ahead.
the facts are the facts that, and I'm not. What I'm trying to say is what led EA to be in the spot that they're in. So every time I keep bringing this up, I don't want people thinking that I'm one of them chauvinist dudes that's upset over a woman being in the game, because I'm not. I'm just saying that this is what led EA to getting into the spot that they are in. Um, and so in this situation, they they had a fictional depiction. They had a fictional depiction of an actual event that was already setting people off to begin with. But then for them to throw that, but them to respond the way they did, that's where they mixed an agenda with business, in my opinion.
Mhm.
So I'm just being honest in saying that I think if they would have put a woman on the cover of Call of Duty, there would have been some backlash. I don't know if it would have affected sales or not, but there would have been some backlash. I truly believe that it would have been some backlash. And I think how Activision would have responded to it would have made all the difference in whether they would have sold games or not. So in my opinion, I honestly believe that a woman being on the cover of Battlefield didn't hurt them near as much as their response to the backlash.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was the unwise part. Putting a woman on the front of the game is fine, but the fight with the consumers, that's when
They fucked up at. That's always bad. That's always bad. There's never a good in it. There's never a good in it. And I think low key.
Hold on a second.
That's what hurt her.
Viera want to join us. Let me send her a link.
All right, go ahead. But I think that I'll keep talking to keep the But I mean, you never say nothing to customers. You should never, like you said, you should never make customers feel a certain way. And like I said, Phil Spencer's a master at that shit. He's a master at making his customers feel like they have some sort of control by saying, "Oh, you guys asked for this," even though nobody asked for it. You know what I'm saying? It's the horrible PR on his part. Dude should never. I wouldn't have said shit because I know my job would have been at stake. They tell you your job is at stake. The motherfuckers know. They don't even got to be told. But at the same time, it's like, like I said, these niggas have passion for what they make, man. And if you do some artwork and somebody come around there trashing over some shit that has nothing to do with the agenda of the game, then they'll probably be pissed off too. Like, you don't even know history. Fuck you. Check your history. And it's true. There were female fighters in the war. It's like, why are we so nitpicky on Battlefield just because it's a female on the cover? We get nitpicky all of a sudden because female. We nitpicking females out of the game. Like, what is this? Like, there's so many games that are horrible. Fallout 76 come out fucked up, and nobody nitpicked that shit. You know what I'm saying? We just fucking said it was a fucking bad game, and before that they were saying, "Oh, it's gonna be a great game," until it came out fucked off. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody's nitpicking these other games because there ain't a woman on the cover. But as soon as a woman's on the cover, it's like now the niggas want to nitpick, and now and that's going to just frustrate people. And Cub was just being human. Like at the end of the day, if somebody do something to you that they don't like and that you don't like, or you trying to give them a message the right way and they still don't listen to you, it's gonna be like, fuck you, fuck nigga, goddamn, look, you stupid ass uneducated bitch. This is what it is. Like you're gonna get mad. That's just human. You know what I'm saying? It's human shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it just pisses you off. You know what I'm saying? I feel for the nigga because it's like, goddamn, the nigga worked all these years on this game, and the only thing to focus on is that there's women on the cover. All the extra shit they did, all the building shit, you could build barricades and do all this shit, all the fucking shit that they did to the game. The one fucking thing they want to talk about is because there's a woman on the cover. It's like, fuck, it's just annoying as shit. To me, it sounds annoying as shit. Like, god damn, we supposed to be gamers.
You know I still think like you can tell by the game, you know, especially on the TV that I'm playing, is like it's actually got more colors, got more vibrant colors. The graphics I think look, you know, a little bit better. So, you know, it looks to me like they they started with the Battlefield Foundation, but it still looked like they put some work into this game. And I think they destroyed all the work that they did by responding to the backlash in the manner that they did.
And I see you impatient. Authentic does not mean simulation. You know what I'm saying? There's no way you don't mix the two shits. That's probably why niggas said. That's probably why he said y'all niggas ain't educated to begin with. Because if you think authentic and simulation is the same thing, then you got it fucked up. Authentic can be you got authentic guns, you got authentic backgrounds, you got authentic places. A simulation is a simulation. It's like the sim, like it's supposed to be exactly what it's supposed to be. Like Gran Turismo. That game is it's such a simulator that you can get an actual racing license with the game. You know what I'm saying? That's simulation, physics, and all that good shit. If you can't take those two words and think they're the same, they are not the same, man. They ain't. They're just not. You know what I'm saying?
You know, if this same thing would have happened, if they would have done the same thing on Battlefield 1, because being that Battlefield 1 was based on the First World War, if they would have done the same thing and then responded in the same manner to some backlash, that game would have flopped too. So like, but the Battlefield Hardline, if they would have put a woman on the cover of that game, I think the backlash would have been minor, and I don't think it would have affected sales unless EA would have came out and try to push back against any kind of backlash. I mean,
I think
you almost have to act like. I think they almost would have had. I think it would have been wise for them to take the route that Activision did and just not respond to the shit and just, you know, keep promoting the game.
Hello.
Go ahead, because we definitely need a woman's point of view with this.
I don't like to be because I was like I've been talking about that on my channel for quite some time. I'm going to stop talking about it too probably, but I think that the backlash really started was Call of Duty when they had a dog in the game, and there were women who really said, "Hey, we play this game too. We wanted to see a chick for once. You know, you guys put a dog in there, but you have yet put a woman in there." There was a backlash on that one. People did complain about saying, "Well, you know, women should be in there. They weren't in the battlefield," and this was supposed to be in modern times. And people did complain about that. They were saying no women in the battlefield and everything, and people had like throwing information like, yes, there are women in the battlefield. They said, oh no, they're doing nurses and stuff. They said, look, there's women in the battlefield even modern times.
Yeah, my niece is in the battlefield. So anybody who say that women in the battlefield can come holler at me. You know,
so they were doing that. So that was also the biggest. That started the big controversy right there. So the second, then after that, later on.
But and not to cut you off, Vera. See, but Activision could have told people that there really are in modern times that there are women on the battlefield.
Right, but then they would have got backlash though. They would have got backlash just like the guy who just did right now. Like they would have got, oh, you telling us the word when it wasn't. It's like
it would have been backlash, but at least they could have told them that this is fact, that there are women on the battlefield in modern times. So the only the backlash that they faced back then, yes, it would have been backlash, but the backlash would have only been compounded if they would have called people uneducated and told them if you don't like it, don't buy it.
That's just no. Go ahead, Vera.
I was just because of that. It was also when I looked at it, I'm just like, well, I'm not playing it still because I'm not a big fan of the. I used to be really good at the Medal of Honor games. I used to love the Medal of Honor. I don't know why I stopped playing them. So I feel they did. The only time I ever think of historical accuracy is when I think it was Medal of Honor. I believe it's so. Did a whole thing about actually they talked to real people. They talked to people who were actually in World War II. They talked to a. This is like they did a game was based off their stories.
Right.
So that's the only accurate war game that's ever made because it's based off the stories of the people who were there.
Right. I mean the beachfront and all that. They had. I remember playing.
It was the Tuskegee one of the airmen, and there was a woman who was a nurse of World War II. They did her story. I think she also was a fighter and a nurse. I think she was both. And he had another guy who was in there, and he was like 3 stories. And you basically look at how they did that. No one never complained about historical accuracy in that game because it was historical accurate because it was based off the stories of these 3 people.
Right, but then you got also put into mind though that the whole outrage culture. And I'm gonna keep it 1,000, nigga.
Okay.
This whole outrage culture. I even made a video about this shit a year ago when I first started YouTube. The outrage culture is leaking in from social media. Back when Medal of Honor was big, social media wasn't shit. Now you got, if you look at social media, everybody complains about everything. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that shit has leaked, and it is not even leaked. This shit is now in the gaming community now, to where everything. There has to be something. If you don't come up with 100% perfect, somebody will send a tweet, and depending on how you reply to that fucking tweet, can make or break your game now. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's good or not. You know what I'm saying? Like people, it's just so people are so outraged about everything. I seen niggas mad at Sonic Fox for being a furry and shit. Like, why? Are you jealous of this nigga's furry ass outfit? Why do people care about what other choices that other people make just because they're not like you? It's outrage. Yeah. Everything is just outrage. People say, "Oh, you say nigga too much. Why do you say nigga so much?" And I'm like, "Nigga, are you from around where I'm at? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you like come to my neighborhood and then you let me see you ask anybody in the neighborhood why you say it so much, and when they beat your ass and you go home crying, you'll understand that bitch. This is just how we talk. It's like the same reason why people in the country sound like country people. You know how people have that country accent." Yeah. People in Boston call Boston Baston. You know what I'm saying? Like they are. It's different. There's different cultures in different areas, different people. Don't just because you don't talk like me, don't mean that I'm wrong in any way and you're wrong in any way. Just accept the fact that people aren't like you, nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead. No, I was actually agreeing with you because I noticed that too. Like everybody's like, I noticed that I'm starting to see people like, no one should do this, no one should do that. They should never be this and this. And I'm just like, the one thing you guys should be really worried about is if the games are good to the point where you're not going to get ripped off. You're not going to get cheap down money or stuff like that. You should be worried about how they're doing behind closed doors. Not what you see. Like, I feel like the whole outrage about, women gaming or people of color in the gaming. Yeah, there's people could still complain about that, or gender or sexuality. That should not be a big deal. That should be just like, okay, those are the games. They're bringing inclusion, but you gotta understand there are a lot of. I can tell you right now, a lot of LGBT play Nintendo mostly. I can tell you right now, they mostly play Nintendo because they feel like Nintendo has a lot of, they really kind of cater to them. That's how they feel. Yeah, that's what businesses are looking for, that market. They know they're there. They're looking for that market.
Yeah, I mean, look at Luigi. Look at Luigi. Nigga, Luigi is LBGT. Nigga, like if you look at the nigga, if you just look at the nigga, any nigga that's scared, they lift their right leg up. Like, what are you protecting, my nigga? Why your right leg go up like that? Like, nah, Luigi is nigga. Luigi is that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that's the homie. He played tennis good as fuck, nigga. And he give you that death stare in Mario Kart. The only reason why he looking at giving you that death stare is because he don't like the fact that you're not matching. Like that nigga is one of them niggas that's like fashion, nigga, green all day, nigga. That nigga Luigi is one of them. But
okay,
and it caters to everybody. It caters to them. No, but Nintendo. No, honestly, I think Nintendo is an open platform. They don't really. Yeah, they're not a dude bro platform or nothing like that. Anybody can play it.
That's why I noticed that when I talk to people, because I live in there, and they mostly play Nintendo. Mostly, they don't really talk about Xbox. They don't talk about PlayStation as much. Some of them have PlayStation, but they knows that they play Nintendo a lot. Someone asked me, okay, I can't. Is it Amber? I cannot pronounce it. Amber's 17. I can't pronounce her name. Sorry, but it says, "Hey, you see a group called Girls Make Games Too? That should never be a thing. They should be this, as we have talent developers making games." I never heard of a group, but I can say this: every time I see like pictures, like people have a group pictures of these developers, I see maybe a speckle of female gamers and mostly male gamers. So I kind of think I think that's the message they're trying to put on there, trying to say, hey, we are here, we're visible, because a lot of games are targeting mostly male customers. And there's like I said, I know earlier you guys said there was not you guys, but I know I know that the same person made a comment, said there's anti-male and everywhere. I'm just like, I don't really see anti-male, I mean maybe anti men who are always complaining about female, who always complain about women. Yeah, there's probably people don't like them. Of course, I wouldn't like them either if you complain about women on everything. But I feel like, I can't categorize that all men are like that, because I don't believe that all men are like that. There's just this group of people who are always complaining about mostly everything.
Yeah.
But what I really want to say is the fact that if these developers really feel like they want to bring out more girls, if they want to bring out more women to be attracted to their games, I feel like just make games fun. I mean, most of the games, that's what attracts us actually to video games. Just make it fun. Don't get me wrong. I would, and one thing I would love to see more. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would love to see more black women in video games. I mean, everybody's talking about the new Far Cry game and saying the two, but the problem is that people say, well, the problem is they had the two black women as villains. But like I said,
that's tight.
That what? To be honest with you, as long as they're written good, as long as you write their story good, they have a good personality, all this stuff, then I could say they could be really good as villains. Then they'd be memorable. And I could definitely play that. They play with your mind kind of villains. I love those type of villains, okay? That's like Jack level on Borderlands level. I love his character. But the problem is that people don't really take the time to actually enjoy games. They're too much, like you guys said, nitpicky. That's why people said, oh, quit nitpicking about Fallout 76. No, Fallout 76 failed because of business reasons. Not because because the company knew what they were doing. They got away with it, kind of, but
they've been getting away with this type of shit. Yeah, real shit.
I think as far as Fallout 76 goes, I think Sick brought up a very interesting point, that he believes that they deliberately sent out that bullshit duffel bag to take everybody's mind off of the game being fucked up.
Yeah, probably.
Now here it is. And now Bethesda's going to replace those bags and send them the so-called real bags, but nobody's talking about the game being fucked up, and nobody's no longer talking about wanting refunds and shit like that for the game.
Facts. I mean, like I said, business moves is business moves. You can't. Too many gamers want to get into the what's going on behind the scenes and the Phil Spencers and the Don Matrix of the world and want to find out, inside information. But they only have the eye of a customer. It's two different.
Sorry.
It's two sets of eyes, bro. It's a business eye and it's a customer eye.
Mhm.
Businesses are going to look at us way different and look at their moves way different. We look at these companies like, why did they do that? Like, why would they ever do that? That's dumb as fuck. It's stupid. But then you're not realizing that you don't have business eyes to see why it's actually not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, no matter what like, gamers gotta know to be customers and
Sorry.
worry about them getting their shit delivered correctly. You all right? Worry about them getting their shit delivered like good game. Just deliver us the product that we're paying for. Don't give us a half-ass game. Don't give us a fucked up ass one mode game. Don't give us a game that's incomplete and they sell us the rest in DLC. That's what we should be worried about. But we worried about what different moves these motherfuckers. Why did they put a woman on the cover? Why is there a girl here? There's always a business move. There's never something happening for nothing. They can't afford to do that shit. Never. It's always something. Everything is by design in business.
Mhm.
So it's like we worried too much about the business to where we're forgetting to be customers and we're accepting shit. You got niggas like Wanye fuck ass that accept Call of Duty for what it is, but because it's fun to him, it's okay, and that's great. It's good that it's fun to him. But if you step back and look at what they gave you, they just basically gave you Call of Duty Black Ops 3.5, and it's like it's so I can't say it's okay. I'm just saying that we worry too much about the wrong shit. You know what I'm saying? And these developers are trying to get PR and trying to get their game's name out there by having these different conferences and talking on Twitter to customers and shit like that. Shouldn't be doing that shit either because they low key mix
Oh,
business in with customers. You can't mix the two because they're always going to have disagreeing views. Businesses want your money, your games, but then they worried about how much money you making too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we shouldn't be worried about how much money they're making. We should be worried about what kind of games they're putting out.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? That's where we mixing it up at.
yeah, that's what I do. I have to agree with that one because it's just you're not putting time to actually create a environment. And also, I noticed that you guys said there's colorfulness in coming these games because they're appealing to the children. And then that's what games do. Have you know that games like Overwatch or games like for you have games like was it Fortnite or all these other games have that colorful setting. Notice how most of them are appealed to children because that's what they're trying to get the market. So Far Cry got more colorful over the years, and now they got this new one coming out, and then you also have what's another colorful one? You see the Battlefield 5 is very colorful. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they're appealing to, to the eyes. Because I can tell you right now, that made me want to buy a game. I'm not gonna lie to you, that will make me want to buy it
That,
because
that's
I love colors.
yeah. I mean, that's why Fortnite. That's why Fortnite sold better than PUBG and more popular than
Yep,
PUBG.
yep.
Continues to be more popular because it's kid friendly shit. Kids can get it. It's easy. It's colorful. It's cartoony. That's what kids like. Kids like the simple cartoony shit. I mean, Microsoft is trying to do the same shit, my nigga. Fucking Super Lucky's Tale and then Sea of Thieves and even State of Decay got more of a cartoony feel to it than it does an actual
Yeah.
hardcore game. Even Gears of War has this little baby cartoony feel to it, but it's darker. It's just way darker. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying
Hey,
it's
they love
borderline.
that. They love that dark aspect. My little cousin's talking
Right.
about freaking Benny, the ink machine. I'm just like, that's a dark ass game, but look how they appealed the design.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Exactly.
what's that other game called Friday Nights at Freddy's and all that, because
Mm-hmm.
it has that colorful kiddie-ish aspect. And to be honest with you, parents are buying this for their kids. So we also complain about other stuff that's been going on in the gaming industry. But who's basically buying this? Parents are buying this for kids, or kids are getting games from mobile games that also have that colorful aspect. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what the market is geared towards: children. they're always going to get the children. That's why they're really trying to,
That's why Nintendo will never fail.
yeah, Nintendo never felt
Because they're always gonna have
that.
that crowd, regardless.
Yeah.
They're gonna have that shit cracking no matter what.
Yep.
They get in trouble, they can release a Mario. They get in trouble, they can release a Pokemon. They get in trouble, they can release fucking Mario Cooking Station. They can fucking release anything they want. Mario name on it, and it's a wrap.
Yeah, that's why. And that's why.
I'll be right back. I gotta take a phone call.
Oh, okay.
Hey, nigga, change that motherfucking ringtone while you at it, nigga. Damn, nigga.
Hey, watch that. I'll be with you in a second.
That's why I said I like I said I see why I see when you someone said that a lot of the games Dark Hat Side Havoc said he has no problem with the game. He really doesn't have no problem because he's got a problem with the pandering. I will say, I had to say this. Overwatch panders a lot. You guys don't know this, but Overwatch panders a lot. They're huge on pandering.
All right, real shit.
They are a very pandering company. They say they include diversity, but if you look at their characters' backstory, who are they really gearing towards their backstory? Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the characters of color really don't have a backstory besides of their little character, their little Asian character, Deva. That's the only one that actually has a really good backstory. So, because a lot of the people who are pretty much like that game are on the weeaboo side. So,
yeah, I mean, and I see you, Myris, and the same shit. I'm not, and that shit is true. It's more about how good of a game is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Rather its story, and we all gotta look for quality. We're not. I don't know who. It's a lot of fake ass gamers out there who like to talk the gaming conversation, but like to put outrage on everything, like just everything. Like they look at instead of ignoring how good a game is. I mean, instead of paying attention to how good a game is, they'd rather pay attention to whatever small thing they didn't like. Oh, there's a woman. If anybody gonna tell me a woman in a game is big to them, then I'm like, nigga, you're not a gamer then, nigga, because there's so many big characters that are women that's just stupid to say. You haven't been gaming for a long time if you are even a gamer.
Mm-hmm.
The gender of somebody should never matter.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the only thing that matters is putting out a quality game.
Yeah, hell,
exactly.
shit. And you talk about historical inaccuracy. My name is based on fiction because I loved Lincoln Clay in that game. I love how he was taking down the KKK, how he was taking down crooked cops, crooked politicians, and shit like that, which we know damn well that shit didn't happen, but it was still fantasy to me, and I liked it. So, and I like this. I like Lincoln Clay's attitude, so I took on the name of Lincoln Clay. So
I hear you.
Because if my name was based on historical accuracy, we know goddamn well that shit didn't happen back then. We know goddamn well didn't no black person run up in the middle of a Klan meeting and throw a grenade up in there and blew up everybody in there and shit like that. We know damn well that shit didn't happen. But so putting characters in a game, whether it's accurate or not, didn't bother me one bit. You know, it just was not a smart of EA to say what they said to the very people that you want to buy this game.
Yeah, idiots. I mean, the guy, like I said, the guy, he's broke. That's rule 101 in business. His customers are always right. Keep your tool. Know how to talk to people. I mean, think about the guys who had put out that fucking game. That shit where the guy said, is this a off-season April Fool's joke? What game? Diablo. When they had the guys on stage almost lost it when they say, "Do you guys don't have cell phones?" Like that was them basically losing it the best that they could without losing their job. You know what I'm saying? Because they're telling them they're still talking business. They're like, "All right, why are you complaining? You complain that you have a cell phone. You can already play. You don't need to buy a system for this. You already have a cell phone. All you have to do is play it." But they said it in an attitude way. Their fucking jobs because what they said was still business wise on top of them, you know, saying, hey, like they're still selling their product, but they didn't go on stage saying, you guys are idiots, you guys are stupid, you don't know this, you don't know that. They didn't do all that shit. They took the questions as best they could without cussing them out. You know what I'm saying? So they didn't lose their job, even though they were out of line.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't lose their job because they didn't lose focus on what their
Because
job is.
that response was questionable. That
Right.
but you guys don't have phones. It was
Yeah.
almost like,
It was questionable.
you know, it was almost like y'all broke motherfuckers don't got phones. That's
No.
the way it jumped out. It almost felt that way to me. The way they
Right.
jumped out and said that shit.
Right. But they said that shit business. That was a business move. It was a plus for them on the business side because they were like, the game is on a cell phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys have cell phones. You don't have to buy a system for this. All you had to do is download it on your cell phone. Like that was a plus on the business side for them. On the PR side, it was bad. But it wasn't. They didn't ignore the rules of business while saying that shit. The guy at EA telling people, "Oh, you don't know your history. If you don't want the game, don't buy it." That's anti-business. To tell your customers not to buy your game. That's anti-business. So he lost his job due to the anti-business part. Those guys who said the phone shit wasn't anti-business because they were saying, "Don't you have this on your cell phone? Like, you guys have a cell phone." So this down, it's still telling them to buy the game. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's the difference between those two situations. They both got into business problems. It's just that those niggas at what's that company called? Avalanche or Blizzard? Those niggas at Blizzard kept their jobs because they never lost focus of what their job was. That guy right there telling people not to buy their product lost focus of what his job was. Fuck the PR part. He lost it on his business side. And that's what made him lose his job.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking that too. I was like, I can understand.
In that one statement, he let his personal feelings cross over to business.
Yeah, and I think when Paul Rock was talking about this, he was also saying that the same way how one of the guys from Last of Us and Uncharted, and they were talking about how he based his game. He wanted to do games that are appealing to his daughter. That's also a big issue on EA because someone said the exact same thing. That same guy said the same thing about appealing the game to his daughter because his daughter asked him why there's not a lot of female women in games. I'm just like, the games you make? And I was like, the games you make in EA? Are you talking about? Is she talking about EA games or are they talking about other games? So that guy kind of really that will also make people pissed off because he was some people say he should have told his daughter that there was no women in the games and then just made a game. That's also what people got pissed off at. They got pissed off at that because he made that comment as well. So I know. I mean, I see it. I understand. On one side, I understand people talk about pandering. That I understand. But the next minute, you kind of like you see people really get angry, putting people of different who is not male, straight, or white in video games. You know, there's people who get pissed off because they want to see that only. There are people who are like that.
You know what I noticed too, though? Like when Resident Evil came out and it was in Africa, I think it was part 5.
Oh, yes.
And people were like, "Oh my God, they're killing black people. Oh, they put black people in the game and they're killing them." And me being a black person was like, "Damn, I'm black and I didn't think of it like that." You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, nigga, they in Africa. Like what other zombies is gonna be out there, my nigga? You in Africa, nigga? Why?
I think it was.
I noticed there was like an issue with people saying shit they don't need to be saying. But go ahead.
I think it wasn't because of that. Wasn't the real reason why people were upset. It was the reason why the comments were mostly, "Oh right, I can go in Africa and I can kill black people."
Right.
That was the real reason.
The idiots. Yeah. I mean, but
rooting for it.
Right. And that's and I felt good. I feel good about that. Yeah, you can go to Africa and go kill some people. Just like I could turn on any game and kill as many white people as I want. You know what I'm saying? like that's why I don't take offense to dumb shit because it's like, God damn, like people's I want to kill. They say shit like that to get a reaction. The only thing I'm gonna say is, okay, well, shit, I'm gonna turn Call of Duty on and kill about 80 of you niggas in a row and make a video about it, my nigga. Like we've been killing. Like that's why I said that people who do that type of shit just want to get a reaction that has everything that not. You know what I'm saying? Like what that them comments and niggas were saying that shit. There wasn't no gamers like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, there are racist ass niggas who play games, but them niggas, they just want they didn't want a gamer reaction. They
Yeah.
wanted a reaction out of niggas just to piss niggas off for some reason. I'm like, nigga, I kill white people every day. You know what I'm saying? In these games. Every day. So it's like I don't take out. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't take nothing from none of these niggas when it comes to that shit. That's why I was baffled by it. I was like, God damn, like these niggas over here. They said I heard a thing they were saying black people were complaining because black people were getting killed in the game. And I guess it was because of that. And I'm like, God damn, nigga. I was thinking, I didn't think none of that shit. I was just thinking, like, okay, they're in Africa, so what? Like,
I don't think it was really. It was only a few. But here's the thing about that: it wasn't really black people upset. Okay,
no, it wasn't. I don't know none that was upset myself.
It wasn't really black people getting upset. It was the fact that it was because really black people wouldn't really care. I think majority did not really like Resident Evil at the time, and plus after that, when they knew about the controversy about that, then they created Shiva. That's the reason why they created Shiva, just to balance it out.
Right.
That's the real reason why.
But that's what I don't like. I don't like for these motherfuckers to be too reactive to what people say. That's why Naughty Dog is so successful. They're not reactive to what people say. They put out what they're going to put out. People didn't like Ellie. The big ass controversy about Ellie kissing another chick, and it's like, God damn, Ellie gay. So what? If you're gonna take away, if you're gonna not buy this game because two pixels are kissing each other, nigga, over one of the best games that probably come out in gaming history, my nigga. Have you heard the new shit about that? Have you heard what somebody? I think one of the developers came out and had played the shit and said that shit right there is insane. Like that shit is crazy good. Like crazy, just unbelievable static. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like another one. Like Naughty Dog is just like another one, nigga. Like straight up. You know,
I was gonna say that anyway, that I think that this game is gonna be so action packed and so gripping that the controversy that people crying about in this game, they just gonna be a small blip on the radar, because I think this game is gonna be so amazing that, especially with the Sony base. Because like, especially with the Sony user base, if they was crying about all that gender shit, then Uncharted Lost Legacy would have flopped. So, you know, so it's mainly people who don't even really fuck with this shit that's crying about it, in my opinion. And I don't think this shit is going to affect sales of the game.
No, it's not. It's not.
The only way
the
only way sales is going to be affected is if, you know, the Naughty Dog come out and say something to the effect that, you know, the user base are idiots or something like that, or we don't give a fuck if you don't buy the game. That's the only way that's going to get hurt.
No. I mean, it's not. I know it's not going to get hurt off of that shit. It's not. I mean, the controversy over Battlefield is one thing. This shit is another thing. Some people just hate EA, and they use that Battlefield women shit as ammo to go up against EA.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. But at the same time, you know, EA didn't get that fucked up reputation overnight. And they haven't done anything,
exactly.
And they haven't really done anything to try to ease people's dislike of them.
Hell no, they're not. Because while people still dislike them, they still one of the highest grossing developers in gaming. So they're like, well, fuck it, y'all can hate us if you want to. You still buying our games. Niggas about to buy Anthem, right? You know what I'm saying? Like niggas still buying their games. You know what I'm saying? Like regardless.
Now that one. Yeah, I think like the first wave of buyers are definitely gonna buy it.
But I
think, you know, I still think they have to be careful how they market this game. They, you know, again, they just, bottom line, they cannot do what they did with this current Battlefield game. They cannot go off and insult people.
Well, they're not going to go and insult. I mean, like I said, that's not something. That one guy doesn't represent the whole Battlefield team. Like that one guy fucked up. He lost his job for it.
He doesn't represent the whole team, but getting rid of him was a PR move.
Yeah, I mean, yes, obviously, hell yeah, they got rid of him. Therefore, it won't happen again. At least from him. That's not only sending a PR move for the customers. It's also giving a warning to all the people who work for EA that this is not how you will lose your job if you talk like this. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about it from both sides. It's not just PR. It's a message to their employees themselves. Like, look, no matter who you are, you say some fly ass shit, you're gonna be on the corner asking Microsoft, can you work for them? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, like I said, it's all business. Everything is business. and you make that one mistake, and it's a wrap. No matter who you are, and they just reminded niggas of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Period. How many people did they fire from Battlefront? Battlefront 2? None, right? They didn't battle. They didn't as much backlash and how as much as that didn't sell. They almost lost the license to Disney. Nobody lost their jobs for making the decisions that they made for Battlefront. Battlefront.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
My bad. Battlefront 2. I don't know if I said Battlefield, but Battlefront 2. Nobody lost their job over that shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got laid off. None of that shit. They almost lost the biggest license that they have over the decisions made. But nobody lost it because it was good business. And people still bought it. But
Mhm.
it was good business. Not good or bad PR. It was horrible PR. Horrible PR.
Yeah.
But good business.
I
So
think
it
that's.
depends. You can't cross the business section. PR section. Don't cross the business section. That's where you fuck off at.
I feel like if we're gonna basically, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I would love to see more games. I just want to see more fun games. I'm so sick. Honestly, I am sick of realism. I am so sick of realism in video games or people trying to simulate, like you said, simulate.
Red Dead Redemption.
Oh,
Oh
no,
god.
that's why I played the first.
And while we're on the subject of Battlefront 2, the campaign of that game was based on a woman,
Yeah, it was. It was. And nobody said shit.
fighting in a war,
No, and nobody said shit.
and nobody
She
said
was
nobody said shit about that.
And she was the
But
only woman stormtrooper, right? Like super. Like that was the first time they sold. Like she wasn't a stormtrooper, but she was like an elite. Wasn't she the only elite woman dark side bitch? Like what was the other ones?
I believe so. And the
Nobody said
controversy surrounding that game wasn't even her. It was the
that.
pay to win.
Microtransaction.
It was the microtransactions.
Yeah.
So, but again, I think that goes back to people were okay with that because a fictional character was inserted into a fictional event.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's what started this landslide for EA with Battlefield 5. They inserted they gave a fictional depiction and inserted it into a factual event. That started the landslide, but they didn't do anything to help themselves by responding to that shit.
No, like I said, they responded wrong to that shit. But anybody expecting realism in games like that, to where we can't even have a woman in the game because
And
women
that-
don't belong. There were no black snipers in Battlefield 1, and on record in World War One, there was no black snipers. But people were complaining about the black people being in there because it's a black guy sniper and all that shit. It's like I said, like you can't expect a video game to get anything accurate 100%. You can't. You just can't.
right.
Woman in there. I know. They said, it's gonna be an authentic this and all that. It's not a simulator. It's just an authentic game. It's not a simulation game.
Mhm.
So it's like they're gonna get mad. I mean, people gonna get mad. Gamers are getting mad at dumb shit. That's just it. Gamers are just getting mad at shit they shouldn't get mad at. Period. And ignoring the shit that we should get mad at. And we also feel like that we have the power to get people fired. We don't. We have the power to make a game not be successful and they make a mistake, not make that mistake because it's bad business. But we don't have the power to get people fired. We don't have the power to make them change their minds or give them choices. I mean, people think that the reason why Don Matrick got fired because the pre-order sales wasn't good. But no, the reason he got fired is because he spoke in anti-business by telling you to buy a 360 and not buy an Xbox One. That line got him fired.
Oh yeah, that did really.
That's what got him fired.
Not only that, it was also someone for the military, so that was a bigger no.
Yeah, even worse. Exactly. So that's what got him fired. That was anti-business. Once you go anti-business is when you lose your job. You can go anti-social all you fucking want, my nigga. Like nigga, Kojima is anti-social. He don't even like talking to people, you know what I'm saying? But he go out and he do his shit. He's never disrespectful to nobody, but he's an anti-social type of guy. He's not out there like Phil Spencer. Same thing with Matt Booty. Matt Booty is an anti-social motherfucker. That's why Phil Spencer still come out and do shit instead of Matt Booty. Matt Booty should have been on stage with them at the Game Awards, not Phil Spencer. But Matt Booty isn't a social like nigga. You know what I'm saying? So they go by. It's not about how your PR is. It's more on what you say. And if you say something that's anti-business to your own business, even if you're the boss of Xbox like Don Matrix, you can lose your job. The whole complaining about girl shit, them niggas not gonna give a fuck. Niggas been complaining about girls for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like when Viera was saying about Call of Duty and the dogs, and I remember that the dog was in the Advanced Warfare, I think, or before that. No,
It was Ghost. It was Call of Duty Ghost.
And Battlefield 4 had came out, and it was a scene where you had to shoot a dog to save your friend, and people were complaining about killing a dog, and it's like, God damn, I'm playing I'm playing Call of Duty Ghosts right now in multiplayer, and I had to shoot dogs. I think in every Call of Duty since it had some kind of dog, so it was even before that. Like Black Ops 2 had, you could call the dogs out to come, maybe like a group of dogs. You got to come and they'll come and kill niggas and shit. One of the kill streaks. You had to shoot those dogs to live. You know what I'm saying? Like nobody complained about this shit. I'm telling you, people just find reasons to complain wherever they want.
My complaint about that shit was that it was too fucking hard to kill the dogs. Every time they said the damn kill streaks, I was dumping a fucking clip in them damn dogs, and they still wasn't dying.
Yeah, they didn't even limp to him. They didn't even limp. Motherfuckers was full stride, just taking bullets, shotgun shells and shit.
And the dogs only have to bite you once, and you dead.
Yeah, you go. Nigga bite me in my toe and shit. I'm just, I can't make it. I can't. Like crazy, man. Nigga, like I said, man, gamers like these businesses know that gamers will complain over anything, and if it becomes viral, it becomes viral. That's the rule of thumb, my nigga. Like gamers are going to complain about whatever. It's all about your reaction as a businessman on how you react, and that's if you got to keep your shit business straight. If your shit is business straight, you're fine. Phil Spencer, one of the worst motherfuckers in gaming as far as hooking his customers up with actual games, but he has always been a wizard at the business shit, and that's why they promoted him. You know what I'm saying? You can say anything you want to him about him not bringing games out and about him lying, make it all. I can make a full video on his lies. Lincoln, you seen one of my videos where I pulled out all the times he done lied and had to reiterate some shit of what he said. He can that's all fake PR, bad PR, but the man has never once slipped on the business side, my nigga. He's always everything he's done has been to make business better. He's normalizing right now. His job right now is a normalized Games Pass. He's not worried about shit. They had a full Xbox XO talking about nothing but Games Pass. Then he went to the VGAs and talked about Games Pass. That's it. It's all about Games Pass, bro. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
God knows, when I first subscribed to your channel, that was one of my favorite videos. Videos where you catch Microsoft or Phil Spencer in all these lies. But before y'all joined us, I had said that Microsoft lies so fucking much that people forget about it after 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Oh, hold on. What do you say? I'm over here reading these niggas shit.
I know, me too. I'm reading these people's stuff. I'm like, what the hell?
What's that?
Nah, they just talking about Phil Spencer's the master of finessing Xbox. He is.
Yeah.
He's a master of doing that shit. He's a master of making this shit right.
Yeah, there's a catch-22 to that. Because people, in my opinion, like the Xbox, they are still living off being happy that Donnie D was vanquished. Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why Phil Spencer can say anything to these people and they'll be happy, because he was the savior. After the evil Donnie D was vanquished, I could have came in and been y'all savior. I could have came in and said, we're going to reverse everything that he said, and I would have been on Phil Spencer's status. So with that being said, a part of it was he was in the right place at the right time. Because the people needed leading after the previous guy was ousted.
Mm-hmm. But he was ousted for telling the truth, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? If you look at, I even looked at, he talked about Games Pass. You know what I'm saying? All this shit, man. Like, it's crazy how he spoke on, the nigga spoke on backwards compatible and how it was coming to the Xbox, but he didn't want it to come because it takes away from the view of bringing actual new games. Like it makes people think about the old and it takes away the time to give us new games. Like people don't listen to Don Matrick on it. The only thing they remember is that nigga talking about if you don't have a 360, don't buy it, and the DRM debacle and all that shit. That's all they remember. They don't. Like all this other shit. Like if he was still on board, I guarantee you they would have had way more exclusive games, bro. Way more exclusive games because he was
And
more on the game side than the business side. Phil Spencer is more on the business side than
and
the game side.
you know what? And if he would have built it, if he would have done that, in my opinion, if he would have done that and he would have brought more exclusives to the Xbox platform, all that shit that he said would eventually went away. And eventually, I think Microsoft could have sold enough consoles that they would have been within earshot of the PlayStation because, um, damn, I just lost it right there. But, um, that's what I was gonna say. If you build it, they will come. It wasn't just the Xbox fuck up that elevated Sony to where they at. They provided games. And everything else just fell into place. Because you can't tell me those 80 million people who bought PlayStations is all hardcore people. A lot of those are casual gamers who, in my opinion, sought the advice of hardcore gamers and got their advice like, which console should I buy? Something like that. Because yeah, I mean, if you build it, they'll come. So I think if Donnie D would have implemented that plan, if they would have kept him and he would have put exclusives out there, there would have been some flops. But I think that it still would have made the Xbox brand more appealing.
It would
because at that point I wouldn't have gave a shit which console I played that day. It was okay. I'm feeling like this today. I'm feeling like that today.
Yeah, but and that's the cold part about it though is Microsoft. Damn, am I echoing? Not me.
I don't hear echo.
I hear that shit. But what was that? Damn. Oh no. But Phil Spencer, like, people are asking me, right? Is the Xbox going to compete with PlayStation 5, right? And I tell them no, straight up, flat forward, because they spent this entire generation ignoring Xbox One, and then selling you the next Xbox that's coming, but at the same time making it less appealing to buy for a wide audience to buy, basically, because you got all your games coming to PC, and their agenda that they've been racking in our brains is that they're going to other devices as well. So if you're available everywhere, then your hardware isn't going to sell much. Isn't going to sell as much as you want it to be. If you ever want to catch PlayStation, you got to give more reasons to buy your console. They're giving less reasons to buy the console. Therefore, it will not compete. I've seen Review Tech USA's, and I wish I could leave a message just for that fat ass nigga can hear. But he was talking about, Microsoft is going to have this because it's power and all. Bruh, that motherfucker could be the most powerful system, right? Like super power. Nigga, there's so many things wrong with what he's saying. It's like, how y'all channel so big and you have in your mind? Like, they talk about power with the next Xbox, right? Does anybody even look at the people that they bought or what they said? They said they want to make AA games, right? They don't want to make AAA games. They want to make AA games that come out within 3 years. This is they quote, not mine, right? How hard is it gonna be to make those games run at 4K 60?
All right, I gotta go, you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, hey, thanks for dropping by. I'll be shutting down soon myself anyway, so I can get some gaming time. Man. We still got.
I gotta make my Sunday church. I'm actually giving y'all baby feedback of that shit.
All right, shoot. Why don't we go ahead and wrap it up now? Why don't you finish up what you was gonna say, Thrash, and then do some outros?
No, we can wrap it up. Well, we could. I was just saying, niggas need to start thinking about why Microsoft is buying these companies that's small. You know what I'm saying? Like, why they buy these smaller companies? I think one of the reasons is so they can sell games better on their service. But then that Xbox that they got coming out with all this power, it'll have all of their games. They're gonna say all their games are gonna run 4K 60, and the only reason for that is because they're gonna be basically medium level games. It's easier to make those medium level games run at 4K 60. You know what I'm saying?
Excellent point. Let Viera, if you don't mind, let Viera go ahead and
I thought you bounced already. I didn't even know. My bad. Go ahead.
I didn't yet. I was listening to what you guys like. Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
This is Viera. This is Viera Tron. I just came in just to say hi to Lincoln. I was glad to come in. Oh, and Thrash, you did really wonderful on that podcast. Sorry about the background noise.
I thought good. It's all good. It was funny.
Yeah, it was. Like dealing with an autistic kid is hard. But but anyways, yeah, I really do enjoy time in the Lincoln Clay's channel. I keep and I always want to get a. I'm not gonna lie to you, I really want to get a VR because you really get me hyped for the VR. So I'm
It's,
just like,
to me, the risk versus reward is, the scales tip heavily in the favor of reward because it's affordable now. If the PlayStation VR still costs $500, I would have told people to approach it with extreme caution. But I think with it being priced at $200 now, I think the reward, far outweighs the risk. It's fun.
oh yeah, yeah. And I was thinking that Tetris, man, that Tetris looks beautiful. So I mean, I kind of like stuff like that.
Oh,
But I'm definitely.
there was an update today for the pet Tetris, so I need to look into that and see if they like maybe added some more,
Hey, is
3D
it
shit
VR?
to it.
Is it VR only or is it both?
No,
It's
it's both.
both.
It's both.
It's both. But the VR just looks so amazing.
Okay, I might have to pick him up. I might have to pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Holla at that Beat Saber too. That's fun too.
Yeah, I might. I just picked up Last Revenant, so I've been playing that shit and shit.
Oh, that was a
The 360 game.
360. Yeah,
Yeah,
they went to PlayStation.
360 exclusive. And it's not even coming to the Xbox One. Now it's the PS4 exclusive.
It might,
for this
it
thing.
might, it might. There be like some fork some money over. We want this on our console. You never know.
Yeah, I'm saying.
They did that with Near Automata. Near Automata
Oh,
was
that's true. That
PlayStation
is.
exclusive, but after a while, a fork over that money, they put it on
Mhm.
the Xbox.
True that.
Yeah. So stuff like that does happen.
So so
Okay,
yeah,
I
there
gotta
you
go.
have
Bye.
it. There you have it. We'll catch you later, Viera.
All right, Bear. All right, Miss Tron.
Mm-hmm. With that being said, you made an excellent point. I think they both took off.
You said who? Say it again.
Oh, okay. I saw your name disappear, so I thought you took off too because I'm looking at the
I'm here.
Google page and not the actual Google Hangout. I mean, I'm looking at the
Oh.
YouTube page and not the Hangout. So I thought
No, I'm saying.
okay. But yeah, you made an excellent point. That being one of the bragging points of these AA games that they're going to be bringing us is going to be in 4K HDR. And shit like that. With the no compromises.
Right.
They're going to be making games that's not going to be demanding.
Right. Exactly. If you look at the whole picture, that's why I got to look at it from a business aspect, man. What moves are they making? Why are they making them? And what would this do for them in the future? And that's what it would do. They hiring all these cheap developers to make cheap games, to make games that's not going to be as big as The Last of Us, and they're going to have a bigger output for games that'll help sell their streaming service and keep people paying monthly for their streaming service. And on top of that, if they don't buy the streaming service, they could buy it full price at $59.99, and and it'd be a mediocre game, and it'd be in 4K 60. That's what they would say. Always 4K 60 every time.
Mm-hmm.
Bam, bam, bam. There you go. Lock it down, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. So with that being said, I'm about ready to wrap it up. I got to grab something to eat here. I'm getting hungry, and I want to get some gaming in. I was Santa Claus early for my son. I gave him his $650 TV today, and didn't make him wait till Christmas for it. So,
yeah, I hear you. You say you bought him a what TV?
You know that Hisense H9 that I said?
Yeah.
I bought him the 55-inch version of that TV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was $650. But he immediately saw the difference though, because he already had the Hisense H9. I mean the H6, which is HDR compatible, but didn't have it didn't have HDR10. So when he hooked his Xbox One X up to this H9, he immediately saw the difference. It just was like, I want this TV, I want this TV, I want this TV. And so I already knew that, I knew he would have loved the 55-inch version of this TV. So I went ahead and gave it to him yesterday. Something in my gut told me to just go ahead and give it to him now. So I gave it to him yesterday, hooked it up, put it in the bedroom, and he pretty much has not come out of the bedroom except to eat and piss.
Shit. Hey,
So,
but shit.
but if he happy, I'm happy. So,
Yeah, that's the best. That's the only way to do it, nigga. As long as they're happy, you happy.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So, so I'm about
All
ready to go. Thanks, Stardust. I appreciate it. Um, he said, "The good podcast
right.
link in the crash."
That's fucked up. Shit, my girl might be taking over my PlayStation 4 Crash. Nigga, I showed her that Crash Team Racing, my nigga. She over there like, oh yeah, you gonna have to buy PlayStation or I'm taking yours. Like, yeah, you got me fucked up. You better go buy you a PlayStation. She like, how? I'm like, you better hit Figure War, nigga, something. I don't know. you better get it done. I don't know, nigga. Nah, but we can bounce though, my nigga.
Yeah, I'm about to go grab something to eat here, because I got to take him home in a few hours. So, um, go ahead, man. Give him an outro. You know, before your ships departs Wakanda.
Yes, sir, nigga. My ship is already, the anchors are lifted. You know what I'm saying? We about to leave Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? I took some of the baddest Wakandan bitches with me. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It is what it is, nigga. Don't trip. Nigga, thanks for coming out. You niggas know what it is. I'll drop a video today. I'll try to drop a video every Sunday to give that Sunday church. But yeah, nigga, I'll do that today, nigga. Other than that, nigga, I see y'all niggas Tuesday on the round table. It is what it is, my nigga.
Without a doubt. Now, with that being said, this is your boy Lincoln Clay. And I definitely want to give a shout out to King Thrash and Viera Tron for popping by. I definitely appreciate it. And I'm about to do my thing too. About to eat something, jump on and do some gaming because that's what we all here for. With that being said, give it a like. Lock the door on your way out when you catch the replay. And I want to thank everybody for coming to Wakanda. We will holler at y'all later.
Mm-hmm.